Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. I, permanently add attributes, become a god. Chapter 21. Compared with the original work, the Iron Castle fled from Yashara Station in despair, and then suffered humiliation at the next station. In the anime, the eldest lady of Sifengchuan Chengpu waited for a whole day and could not even see the city lord. Only a manager came out to greet her and got some drawings of the tube in exchange for some food. And Lin Chen cleaned up the 8 generations post-city, allowing Jaticheng to successfully obtain a large amount of supplies. The supplies in the city of tens of thousands of people were enough for Jaticheng to load. He also found 2 spare carriages. Now Jaticheng has 10. The carriage is gone. Jaticheng was happy, and so was Lin Chen. I have to say that the effect of the camp leader was really good. Except when he killed Fusion Group Kabani, he went up to the roof of the car to defend. At other times, he just swung his sword to kill the skill taker, and the rest of the damage was done by his subordinates. In the process of cleaning up the 8 generation station, Lin Chen harvested a total of 57 treasure boxes white, 1 treasure box dropped by Fusion Group Kabani green, and 3 skill taker treasure boxes green. The samurai team in the middle also killed many skill takers, but their quality dropped to white. After a short rest, the Iron Fortress soon embarked on its journey again. Although the Fusion Group monsters of Yashara Station have been killed, there are still tens of thousands of Kabani in Yashara Station. These cannot be cleared by the people of Armor City alone. Lin Chen only cleaned up important places such as granaries and material warehouses. Moreover, there are only less than 1,000 people in Kotetsu Castle, so staying at Yatsushiro Station is just a matter of slow death. After driving for a day and a night, the Iron Fortress left the vast forest. Behind a winding river, a tall city wall appeared in front of everyone in Jaticheng. This was the Japanese city. The observer shouted excitedly, "I saw Yicheng." People on the train stuck their heads out to watch. Woo! The Iron Fortress sent out a long and loud whistle as a signal, and the people waited expectantly for a response. Soon, a response came from the Japanese post city, and the entire Jaticheng fell into a carnival. They finally arrived at a post city with people. Soon, Wawanee City slowly lowered the suspension bridge, and Jaticheng slowly drove in and conducted an inspection. Lin Chen was exempted from the inspection by virtue of her relationship with the eldest lady. After all, Sifengchuan Chengpu was not only the heir to the Sifengchuan family, but her uncle was also a senior minister of the current shogunate. Lin Chen had no problem keeping her alive. Shigagawa Iris took Kuji Kurusu and Arakawa Kibutsu and asked, "We are going to visit the lord here now. Will Lord Chengxi come with us?" As a noble, she must pay a visit to the local master out of emotion and reason. Lin Chen immediately shook his head. "I won't go." Ikoma reported, "Sir Chengxi, the Dada iron has bottomed out. It is an important material for penetrating the barrel. Without it, there is no way to make jet bombs. Chao Gao, we also need to replenish the repair parts for Iron Castle. Loach, we also need to replenish the clothes and medicines from the Iron Fortress." Lin Chen had a big headache and immediately stopped their report. Stop reading, buy whatever you need yourself, write a purchase order and give it to Miss Calamus later, don't tell me this." Ha ha ha. Seeing Lin Chen's headache, everyone laughed happily. Although Lin Chen has not been in charge for a long time, it is the consensus of the entire Jaticheng that Master Chen Shi is a fish monster. Except for critical moments, almost all the work is delegated to Miss Chengpu. Joji came to Chu and said, "Master Chengxi, the Japanese city requires us to leave tomorrow night on the 8th. Yuna said in surprise, "On the 8th? Then today is Chinese Valentine's Day." Zansheng wondered, "Can we still celebrate Chinese Valentine's Day under the current situation?" Lin Chen said grandly, "Of course, let's celebrate Chinese Valentine's Day together. All expenses will be reimbursed by Jaticheng and Miss Chengpu." "Ah no, Miss Chengpu is going to visit the lord." "Then Loach will be responsible for it, everyone wants, just tell Loach." Long live Lord Chengxi. Lin Chen conveniently recruited another tool man. Jaticheng gained a lot of money from Yashara Station, and the players didn't need the money, so they spent it casually. Sifengchuan Chengpu said angrily, "Master Chengxi can't work by himself, right?" Lin Chen shamelessly said, "It's impossible to work at work. There are still Miss Calamus and Miss Loach." "Okay, Okay, let's all disband. Dash 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 dash. I heard that we are celebrating Chinese Valentine's Day. I forgot this happened. I heard that the logistics team will buy bamboo back. Then you have to make some wishing paper. Let me do it. I'm the best at this. The wind caresses the bamboo leaves and rustles. Note: Song of Chinese Valentine's Day. Everyone was washing clothes and taking a bath by the river, while talking about the upcoming Chinese Valentine's Day. On the cobblestones by the river, a lot of quilts were drying. There was no chance to dry quilts on the iron fortress. Loach was carrying a baby on his back and was wiping the child's body. You are too impatient. Okay, don't move. That's great. Little kids were running around in bath towels. Wu-Ming put on a new light yellow kimono, a pair of ponytails, small white socks on her feet, and a bell on her body that jiggled as she walked. It's nice to have new clothes once in a while. Wu-Ming turned around and liked this kimono very much. Loach, wearing a light green kimono, ran over and took Wu-Ming's hand. Miss Wu-Ming, come together, let's go shopping together. Wu-Ming said softly, but I don't know how to buy things. Loach took Wu-Ming and left. If they are all weak women, they will be bullied. Please, please, bodyguard master. The streets are buzzing with people because everyone is celebrating Chinese Valentine's Day, and people are coming and going for shopping. There are various stalls in this commercial street, including various fruits and vegetables, condiments, fabrics, etc. Too expensive, too expensive, too expensive. Look, it's all broken here. Loach pointed at the flaws on the pumpkin and shouted, cheaper. The children and aunts nearby also echoed, that's right. Loach pinched the fabric and asked the boss of another fabric store, couldn't it be thicker? It can't last 3 days if it's so thin. I want these together, give me half the price. This little bean actually costs 10 cents. Do you think I'm cheating? Wu-Ming was stunned at the side. Loach is so strong in combat. Is this how a weak woman will be bullied as promised? On the other side, Yuna was packing the purchased supplies into boxes and preparing to move them back to the Iron Fortress. Sister, are you from the Iron Castle? At this time, a little boy asked curiously from behind. My father is also in Zhengkang. Yuna smiled and bent down and replied, really? Then he is also our companion. The little boy said proudly, well, the Zhengkang he rides in is Fuso City. Yuna's smile froze on her face. Sorry, I don't know much about other Zhengkang situations. A voice came from the side. As for Fuso City, it has been captured by Kabani. Yuna asked angrily, Chao Moing. Chao Gao put down the supply box he was carrying. All the people above had turned into Kabani and rushed into Shangjian Station. We escaped from Shangjian Station. Yuna said angrily. Why do you want to? Chao Gao interrupted. It would be more cruel to wait for a father who never comes back. At least I wanted to tell him the truth. The little boy shed tears and cried in disbelief. You are lying, you must be lying, Dad. I said I would definitely come back. The boy lowered his head, and Chao Gua squatted down to wipe away the tears of the sobbing boy. Feel sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. However, only by overcoming pain can real victory be achieved in life. Dash 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 dash. In a dark secret room, a man spoke out. I am Xiao Genta, the general's family, the sheriff of Wuzhou. The liberator will come to the Japanese city soon. Another man. Please stop. The struggle in the central government has nothing to do with our Japanese language. Xiao Genta. At least you are not an outsider. From that day 10 years ago, the lord of Japanese city. Dash 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 dash. I'm back. Look, look, we bought so much. It's so awesome, I can't even pretend anymore. After a day of shopping, everyone gathered on the small bridge, and the setting sun reflected everyone's figures on the river. Loach hugged the child Wu-Ming was carrying and said, thank you, you can give it to me. He pinched the little guy's cheek and said, the little guy is sleeping soundly with Wu-Ming carrying him on his back. By the way, there is also this, Loach bought it for me. Wu-Ming shook his head, and there was a new flower decoration on it. I also bought beautiful bamboo. Loach carried the child on his back and touched the bamboo on the cart next to him. When the time comes, we can write our wishes on the wishing paper and hang it up like this, Loach demonstrated. Wu Ming looked at the Loach hanging the wishing paper and was lost in thought. Let's go, remember to decorate the bamboo when you get back. It's a rare occasion to come out. Why don't you go back after eating on the street? Everyone started to walk back, but Wu Ming did not follow them. She came to the quiet shrine next to it. What are you thinking about, Miss Anonymous? Lin Chen sat above the shrine and looked at the unhappy girl with short braids and a light yellow kimono, holding her chin in her hands. Wu Ming asked in surprise, why are you here? Me, I'm waiting for you. Wu Ming was amused. Why, can Mr. Chengxi still predict the future? If you don't want to say it, don't say it. Actually, I've had a Chinese Valentine's Day before. I just forgot before. I just thought about it when I saw Loaches decorating bamboo leaves. My mother said to me while decorating the bamboo, Suji, it's a sunny day today, it's great, you can see the Milky Way. Lin Chen smiled and said, well, is Suji your previous name? It seems like your mother wants you to eat enough rice. Wu Ming laughed loudly and said, it seems so, but my mother is really stupid, and she has been unable to grow rice for a long time. Wu Ming took out the blood bottle I gave her and said in a lower voice, besides, my current food is still. The girl stood up and walked forward. Don't look at me chatting like this. Maybe tomorrow it will become Kabani, maybe today it will become. Even when I'm sleeping, I can't get rid of this thought. I think that when I wake up in the morning, I am still not the same person. When the time comes and it changes like this, I'll bite everyone. The nameless hands turned into claws. Ouch. Lin Chen looked at the smiling girl. He was still powerless, just as he was when he was watching the anime and still is now. Dash 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 dash. As night falls, the sky is filled with stars, and everyone in Jiadicheng gathers together to welcome the Chinese Valentine's Day. The child next to him praised Kurusu's sharp swordsmanship. It's so awesome, so awesome. Kuchi Kurusu put down the puppet and said helplessly, my sword is not used for this kind of thing. Zheng Sheng wrote his wish, but before he could appreciate it, Wu Ming had already figured out the right time and snatched the wishing paper. What did you write? Hey, don't look. The two chased and quarreled. Wu Ming laughed and read out his wish for survival. I hope to live a good life. Zheng Sheng shook his head helplessly. Now this is the only wish we have. Ikoma read out his wish loudly. My wish is to wipe out Kabani and take back all the cities and lands. Sifengchuan Changpu. I have also written it. My wish is to revive Shanjin Yicheng. The people below responded with a kind smile. Haha. Sifengchuan Changpu asked in confusion, is it strange? Zhouji Leizu came to her side. No, I think the Lord will also be happy about this. Yes, in this era, you still have to have aspirations, and they have to be big. The ambitious man cheered up. Okay, I want to become a rich man and marry 3 wives. Lin Chen looked at the flag of the textbook. According to the plot, a few days later, Zuo Sheng died because he helped Ikoma block the bullet of Amata Mima. Loach clasped his hands together and said silently, I want to become a private school teacher. Chao Gao looked at Yuna next to him. Yona, what did you write? I want my own Zhengkang. Then can I take a ride in your Zhengkang? Yuna crossed her arms and smiled. No. Sifengchuan Iris walked towards Kuji Kurusu who was writing down his wish. What did Kurusu write? Kuchi Leizu hurriedly hid the wishing paper behind his back. Lord Iris, no, once the wish is seen by others, it cannot be fulfilled. Sifengchuan Chengpu said in a panic, is this like this? Then I just showed it to everyone. Kuchi Leizu's face turned red. No, this. Wu Ming, what did you write? Loach came over and sat next to Wu Ming. Nameless. I want to be full with rice. Lin Chen hung his wish on the top of the bamboo. What wish did Master Chengxi make? It's a secret. Fireworks rose from the side, and everyone looked at the colorful fireworks in the sky and looked forward to their future. The next day, early morning, the members on the Iron Fortress were awakened by a large number of cheers. It's the Karakatas. Long live the Liberator. Long live Mima-sama. How heroic Mima is. As expected of the general's son. A young man with dazzling pink hair walked into the city gate under the protection of the Karakata people, smiling and gesturing to the cheering people around him. Lin Chen stood on the Iron City and looked at the city gate. Birds and horses in the sky. The nameless brother came. Lin Chen was about to open the treasure chest to see if he could find some useful items that would come in handy in the upcoming battle. After counting the number of treasure chests, there are a total of 62 treasure chests white, 4 skill taker treasure chests green, and 1 fusion group treasure chest green. A total of 8,300 game coins were obtained from 62 treasure chests white. After all, they were exploded by subordinates in the camp, so they contained more water. A bunch of white Kabani's teeth, white Kabani's claws, white, etc. The most useful thing is Kabani's heart membrane, *4. Lin Chen guessed that it should be the treasure chest white dropped by himself and the skill taker. Cardiocardium of Kabani. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: white. Rating: 9. Effect: excellent strengthening material, which can greatly improve the sharpness and durability of weapons. The 4 skill taker treasure chests green yielded 6,000 game coins, which looked quite satisfactory. Basic sword skill scroll *2. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: skill book. Usage requirements: none. Rating: 19. Effect: allows players to gain expertise, basic sword skills. Introduction: with just one click, you can acquire the basics of knife skills. Excellent katana right. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: weapons. Durability: 100/100. Attack power: 13 to 29. Equipment requirements: strength 6 or above, strength 8 or above can be used flexibly. Rating: 21. Equipment effect 1. Bleeding. Once hit, the bleeding amount will be accelerated. Introduction: it is a right-hand sword of a samurai, but unfortunately the left-hand sword is lost. If we can get 2 swords together, there may be a surprise. Scroll of skill. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: consumables. Rating: 29. Effect: it allows the user to copy the skills that others are using. Once the copy is successful, the skill can be permanently obtained. Note: the basic success rate of white skills is 70%, and the basic success rate of green skills is 30%. Green and above qualities cannot be copied. Passive skills cannot be copied. The higher the score, the lower the success rate. Introduction: this trick is very good, but now it is mine. Basic sword skill scroll. Basically there is no selling price. The market price is 1,000 game coins per piece, which is very stable. After all, only the long-distance direction would buy such basic scrolls for melee combat. They couldn't sell them at all during the apprenticeship stage, and they didn't even have the money to improve their main expertise. Exquisite katana right. It's a pity that it should have been imploded by Kaba, the skill taker who held the 2 swords before. It's a pity that Lin Chen has never seen the second one, so he probably can't get it together. What a pity, it's a rare set. Skill scroll as a big surprise. There should be many gambling dogs willing to buy it. After all, if you copy what you want, you will earn blood. Unfortunately, it is only a consumable. If it is a skill book, Lin Chen will not be able to sell it even if he kills him. This is similar to the Sharingan in the blood succession limit, the core ability of Sakura country's ninja profession, and it can be regarded as a beggar's version. The owner of the Sharingan doesn't know how many ninjutsu skill books he has saved, and his enviable eyes are red. Lin Chen opens the treasure box dropped by the fusion group green. Hint: you opened the treasure chest green. Tip: you have obtained the fusion group Cabaneri's pain. Tip: you got 1,600 game coins. Fusion group Cabaneri's pain. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: ring. Durability: none. Equipment requirements: accept the test of the ring. Rating: 30. Green. Quality: extreme rating. Equipment effect 1. Mental shock, a mental shock to the target. If the target has an intelligence below 50 points, it will hit. For targets whose intelligence does not exceed 100 points, the target's willpower will produce a minimum control effect of 0.5 seconds. Cooling time: 1 natural day. Special effect: Revenge, specify a target within sight, continuously obtain the target's direction, increase the attack effect by 20% in the next 3 minutes, increase the damage and pain effect, cooling time, 3 natural days. Introduction. The pain of being turned into a monster, the pain of being betrayed. If you want my power, then bear my pain and take revenge. Lin Chen looked at the ring. The fusion group was a man-made product. Female Kabaneri were injected with black plasma to turn them into news, allowing Kabani's virus to attack the brain. Kabaneri would eventually die in pain. The birth of every fusion group means the sacrifice of a female Kabaneri. Revenge. Just in time, I happened to do it smoothly, and Lin Chen put on the ring without hesitation. Just when Lin Chen was accepting the test of the ring in the corner of Jiadicheng, Wu Ming also quickly came to Tiantiao Mima. Brother, I finally see you. Listen to me, brother, I have a lot to say to you. Inside the Iron Castle, Wu Ming, who reunited after a long separation, obviously had a lot of experiences to share with Mima, and the two talked while walking. Are you Amada Mima-sama? I am Changpu, the heir of the Sifengchuan family. Sifengchuan Changpu came to greet him with Zhouji lackey. Tiantiao Mima was very surprised. Sifengchuan. Then you are from Laozhong. Sifengchuan Changpu quickly reported his connections. Laozhong Makino Taoist priest is my uncle. Wu Ming expressed excitedly. Brother, they are also going to King Kong Guo. Sifengchuan Changpu smiled and said, I received a lot of help from the nameless lady along the way. I didn't expect that she turned out to be Master Mei Ma's sister. Amada Mima denied. No, not my sister. Wu Ming's expression did not change and he said calmly, you just allow me to call you brother. Compared to Sifengchuan Iris, Amada Mima quickly lost interest in Wu Ming, and important matters were more important. Wu Ming, you go to the pathology room and check your physical condition. Wu Ming left in despair. Yes. It's a bit noisy here. If you don't mind, please come in and talk. Amada Mima warmly invited Sifengchuan Iris. The Sifengchuan Iris, which has an old Chinese uncle, is of high value in Amantori Mima's eyes. The plan helps a lot. As for Wu Ming, they are nothing more than weapons. The train owned by Amada Mima is called Kecheng, and Amado Mima is leading Sifengchuan Iri and others to visit Kecheng. Sifengchuan Chengpu said at a loss. We actually asked the general's son to lead us. Tiantiao Mima said disappointedly. We have already severed the relationship. We are no longer the so-called father and son. When. Suddenly, the alarm sounded in the Japanese city, which meant that there were a large number of Kabani attacking the city. In the wild, a large number of Kabani chased forward, and a horse pulled several bleeding civilians tied with ropes and ran wildly in front. What's the plan to recruit Kabani and put the people in danger? The Japanese city lord looked at Kabani, who was attracted in the castle tower, and questioned Xiao Yuanta, but Xiao Yuanta waved his hand casually. Don't worry, the Karakata people will take care of Kabani, and Amada Mima will also come to the battlefield in person, and then take advantage of it. Tiantiao Mima apologized to everyone and said that the timing was really unlucky, and asked everyone to leave Kecheng. Afterwards, Amada Mima came to the command center of Kecheng, and his subordinates quickly reported, there are currently 7 groups in Kabani, and they are spreading in front of the protective wall. Amada Mima ordered, all personnel attack lightly, use mortars to drag down Kabani and eliminate them. Steel is made into steel 100 times, and you will persevere. The Karakata Zhang asked the Japanese city to lower the suspension bridge, and the Kargata Zhang's Zhengkang, their armored train, Kecheng, drove directly out of the protection of the city wall. Compared with transport trains like the Iron Fortress, which are specially used to transport supplies and occasionally prevent Kabani invasion, Kecheng is a train specially used to conquer Kabani. It has heavy armor and no material boxes for loading. Instead, it has pathology rooms, laboratories, troop transport boxes, warhorse breeding boxes, arms management boxes, etc. There are mortars, motorcycle cavalry, infantry and many other types of arms on the vehicle, which give the hunters the myth of being undefeated. Amada Mima stood alone at the front of the car, looking at the crushed Kabani, showing an imperceptible smile. He slowly raised the command knife in his hand. The command knife turned black and red under the sunlight, and it was obviously strengthened by Kabani's heart membrane. The carriages on both sides of Kecheng slowly opened upwards, revealing the black muzzles of the guns, and next to them were mortar crews who were already in position. Incendiary bombs, launch. A large number of Kabani, who was attracted by the popularity of Kechung and the car, fell into the flames. All hands on deck. Amada Mima directly jumped on his black horse and charged first, while the Karakata soldiers behind him mounted their motorcycles and followed closely behind. In an era when almost everyone dared not go out, Amada Mima and his subordinates Karakata dared to fight Kabani at close quarters. This was unmatched by others. It is precisely for this reason that Amatori Mima is called hero. The soldier on the motorcycle was holding a steam gun, and his marksmanship accurately broke Kabani's calf. After all, the steam gun could not penetrate Kabani's heart membrane, so it was useless no matter how accurate his marksmanship was. He could only hit the calf to restrict his movement. The motorcycle soldiers specifically hit the calves, followed by a large number of infantrymen. They would rush to the incapacitated Kabani and shoot at the heart with steam guns. It cannot be said that the steam gun cannot kill Kabani. It is just that the correct shooting method is not mastered and the distance needs to be a little closer. Many members of the Karakata family were scratched when Kabani, who was unable to move, fought back before death. They decisively used suicide bags to commit suicide. Such strict discipline is also the basis for the Kargata family's invincibility. Guantong was Lin Chen's biggest trump card. He had known for a long time that Mima Tiantori would arrive the next morning, so he asked Ikoma to work overtime that night after Chinese Valentine's Day. Didn't he say that he wanted to regain all the cities and land? Go and work overtime. Mr. Chengxi just bought you new materials today. Make more barrels. After making the barrels, make ammunition. After finishing the ammunition, coat the samurai sword. If you really can't do any more research on new products. In short, don't be idle, the future of mankind needs you. How can the honest Ikoma be the opponent of the despicable Lord Chengxi? I immediately took a few friends to work all night, and I am probably still catching up on sleep. As long as there is no problem with the protagonist, it is impossible for Mima Amatori to know the existence of Kansutsu. There is a difference between the top and the bottom. Not everyone has the courage to talk to the son of the shogun. As for Wuming, she has the mental capacity of a minor, so she doesn't realize the importance of the piercing gun. After all, it's the same as the steam gun, which basically can't hit her, and is no different from a useless fire stick. Amazing. He went to fight outside the city wall. The guards of the Japanese post city on the city wall were amazed. Obviously, the bold fighting method of the Karkata people was eye-catching. Of course, it was absolutely impossible for them to learn. They used steam guns to fight Kabani in close combat. One mistake would cause them to fight. You can use the self-extinguishing bag. Lin Chen stood on the city wall and observed the battle situation. I have killed Inoki in advance, but for the Shogunate, it is still very easy to find a dead soldier, even more reliable than Inoki, the licking dog. The assassination plot should still be staged. But for Amada Mima, it is impossible for ordinary people to assassinate him. HP, 100%. Energy, 3,500 3,500ths. Strength, 31. Agility, 32. Constitution, 33. Intelligence, 35. Charm, 51. Talents, Orator. Skill 1. Spearmanship, superb spearmanship, improved accuracy. Skill 2. Battlefield swordsmanship, a swordsmanship honed by fighting on the battlefield in Kabani since childhood. Skill 3. Infection. Once bitten and scratched by it, it will be infected. Skill 4. Heart membrane. Kabaneri will not die before the heart is broken, and the defense of the heart is greatly improved. Skill 5. Mima Amada was able to survive after being cut off from logistics because he had turned into a male Kabaneri. Unfortunately, he was not a female. Otherwise, Lin Chen suspected that he would have injected himself with black plasma to turn into a fusion monster to kill King Kong. Whoa, yes, Tiantiao Mima is so twisted. The talent speaker is probably to greatly increase the credibility of the language or something like that. After all, you let people use steam guns to fight Kabani in close combat, and you also massacred humans with you. It's really unjustifiable that you don't have any charisma. In the subsequent plot, Mie Huo clearly knew that Mima Tiantori wanted to turn her and Wuming into Nu, the name of the fusion group, but while being the personal guard of Mima Tiantori, she voluntarily was injected with black plasma, and finally turned into a fusion. The monsters in the group were reluctant to hurt Amada Mima, and were finally executed by Amada Mima without any resistance. This shows Amatori Mima's brainwashing ability. At this time, a mutated Kabani with 3 heads and a katana appeared on the battlefield. It was considered a skill user plus micro-fusion group. He casually threw the surrounding ordinary Kabani at the Karakata soldiers on the motorcycle, causing a lot of damage, of casualties. Skill Taker Mutated Kabani. Hit points: Undead, Energy, 10. Strength, 51. Agility, 27. Constitution, 43. Intelligence, 13. Charm, 1. Skill 1. Thirsty for blood. Kabani has a keen sense of smell, and will increase his movement speed once he finds blood. Skill 2. Infection. Once bitten and scratched by Kabani, it will be infected by it. Skill 3. Heart Membrane. Kabani will not die until the heart is broken, and the defense of the heart is greatly improved. Skill 4. Skill Acquisition. Due to their experience in combat, some Kabani learned to use weapons or fighting skills, and their movements became more agile. It is more difficult to deal with than ordinary Kabani. Skill 5. Throwing Mastery. Improves the power and accuracy of throwing. Skill 6. Fusion Mutation. Mutated Kabani with 3 heart cores at the same time. This mutated Kabani quickly attracted the attention of Amada Mima, and Wuming, who was guarding Amada Mima, volunteered. "Brother, leave it to me. I understand, I'll leave it to you, Wuming. Put out the fire, go help." Amada Mima calmly spoke out and ordered the guards to extinguish the fire and provide reinforcements. Extinguishing. HP, 100%. Energy, 110 110ths. Strength, 43. Agility, 51. Constitution, 43. Intelligence, 11. Charisma, 9. Skill 1. Two-handed pistol skills, superb spear skills, improved accuracy. Skill 2. Proficient in swordsmanship, with excellent swordsmanship. Skill 3. Combat proficiency, able to quickly subdue the enemy. Skill 4. Infection. Once bitten and scratched by it, it will be infected. Skill 5. Heart Membrane. Kabinari will not die before the heart is broken, and the defense of the heart is greatly improved. Skill 6. Yanwo and Wuming. 2 Kabinari flank the mutated Kabani, one on the left and the other on the right. Yanwo absorbed the attacks from the front and flexibly dodged the slashes of the katana. Unknowingly, Wuming was in front of Kabani, raised his hand and shot the core of his heart. Wuming then stepped on Kabani's body and jumped back, avoiding Kabani's painful counterattack. He extinguished the fire and caught Wuming with his hands in time. Waving vigorously, Wuming took advantage of the situation and jumped into the sky above Kabani. While Kabani was watching Wuming's fall, Yanhuo suddenly slashed with his sword, directly piercing the second heart core. While Wuming was extinguishing the fire and breaking the second heart core in the air, he stabbed down and broke the last core. A mutated Kabani with a power of over 50 and 3 hearts cannot even survive for 15 seconds in the nameless and extinguished state of complete liberation. Lin Chen wanted to assassinate Mima Tiantiao under their protection, which can only be said to be similar to using a suicide bag. While Wuming and Yanwo were lured away, the 2 dead soldiers of the Shogunate seized the opportunity and launched a sneak attack without giving Amada Mima a chance to react. Unfortunately, it was of no use. Kabinari's Amada Mima was no ordinary person. The assassin could be dealt with, but Mima Amada was dealt with directly with 2 swords. What you worried about still happened, didn't it? If sending an assassin can take care of Mei Ma. Who? In the castle tower, the Japanese city lord and Wuzhou sheriff Xiao Genta were arguing endlessly. Soon a group of troops wearing black clothes and masks broke into the castle tower. They quickly killed all the guards. The leader said calmly, "Please come with us." Just when they wanted to assassinate Amada Mima was not thinking about them. The Karakata people went out to clear out Kabani, and secretly sent elites to attack the castle tower. As expected of Karakata, Master Maiba's heroic appearance is admirable. Sifengchuan Iris praised Mima Tiantori who had returned from Kaisheng. "Haha, it's not worth mentioning. I heard from Wuming that Miss Chongpu is also going to King Kong Guo. This area is still very unsafe. If you don't mind, let us protect the Iron Castle and go to Kongongguo." Amada Mima took the opportunity to request an escort. "Well, dash 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 dash. Lord Chengxi, this is why we are being dragged away by Kechung now. With the protection of the Karakata people, it is indeed much safer. Lin Chen listened to Sifengchuan Chengpu's report. The people were very happy about the escort in Kechung. Lin Chen also acquiesced in the attitude. Today he hid for a whole day and did not go out. With Master Mima's protection, I feel at ease. Ah, it's like I'm already in King Kong. Voices like these continue to spread among the people, which shows the reputation of Tiantiao Mima. Lin Chen shook his head helplessly. When you all become the blood bank feeding Kabani, you may not think so. You think they want to escort you, but in fact they are greedy for your body, and there are a lot of Kabani in the city to feed. Dash 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 dash. If your mother is not weak, she can survive and live alone. For you, the name you use to call her is unnecessary. From now on, you can call yourself nameless. Wu Ming woke up from the experimental table and dreamed of the past again. My brother will return to his hometown soon. I will help my brother clear all obstacles, Wu Ming vowed to himself. ... What did you say, brother? Bring me the master key to the Iron Castle. However, the master key is kept by Lord Chen Shi. Is that Lord Chen Shi stronger than you, Wu Ming? No, that's not the case. If that's the case, then there's no problem. Lin Chen looked at Wu Ming, who came to him in the middle of the night. Wu Ming's face was not good looking. She hid her hands behind her back with a dagger in her hand. If Lin Chen refused, there would be no other way. Don't blame her. Only the elder brother can do it. Can save the world. Lin Chen asked with a smile on his face. Miss Wu Ming, why did you come to see me in the middle of the night? Wu Ming said coldly. Give me the master key to Jaticheng. No problem, give it. Lin Chen gave the master key to Wu Ming without hesitation. Wu Ming didn't expect to get the key so easily and was stunned on the spot. Thanks. Wu Ming reacted with a smile on his face, bowed sincerely to thank him, and then walked away happily. Lin Chen touched the master key in his pocket. He had secretly asked Ikoma to make an identical master key for safety reasons. Although it was possible to make a fake one, Lin Chen decided to make a real one in order to prevent Amada Mima from verifying it. The main thing was not to reveal any flaws. Wu Ming happily told Tiantiao Mima that Chengxi had given her the master key readily. Tiantiao Mima fell into deep thought. No matter how it looked, this master key was real. She thought that Lord Chengxi, who had not yet shown his face, was a person, and wanted to get Wu Ming to get rid of him. As a result, the so-called Master Chen Shi is at this level. You've done a great job. It seems that everyone in the Iron City trusts you. After Wu Ming left, Jaticheng, the main control room. Lord Chengxi, there are a large number of Kabani on Kechung, at least hundreds of them. This is too dangerous. Ikoma loudly reported to the police that as a Kabaneri, he could sense Kabani within a certain range. The large number of Kabani in the city made Ikoma feel uneasy. Everyone was shocked and talked about it. Really, how come there are so many Kabani? Lin Chen signaled everyone to be quiet. There is indeed a large amount of Kabani on the city. According to Mr. Mei Ma, it is used to study the weaknesses of Kabani. However, I always maintain a certain degree of suspicion. I will find out the matter as soon as possible. During this period, the samurai team and the escort team will be alert and keep your weapons close to you. Yes, it's not the time to reveal it yet. We have to wait until Mima Amada starts to take action before we have evidence. Lin Chen comforted everyone casually. Check, he already knew it. Soon, Katsuki and Kotetsujo came to the last post city, Iwado Post City. This is the last barrier of King Kong Guo. It has a tall and solid city wall, a spacious moat, and rows of artillery on the city wall. It can be said that even a fused group will have a hard time breaking in from the outside. Just like the name of Yi City, it is as solid as a rock. Kongogo only allows the Iron Fortress to enter the station, while the Karakata people are directly prohibited from entering. Kechung, the main control room, Amada Mima listened to the report of his subordinates. They received the order from King Kongguo and cannot let the Karakata people pass through here. Wu Ming was indignant. How could they do this? The general is very afraid of Mima-sama, and the Iwato Gate is the last barrier to Kongokaku. But we have long expected that it will not be so easy, so we are fully prepared for this. Wu-ming looked forward to the future and said, if this battle is successful, everyone will be happy. Tiantiao Mima smiled and said, yes, I need Wu-ming's power for this. Can you do it? Of course. At this time, a subordinate came to report. Castle Lord Maeda has accepted the request for talks, but the accompanying persons can only be women and children. Tiantiao Mima snorted coldly. As expected, Wu-ming go down and prepare. Yes. Miehuo looked at Wu-ming's figure leaving excitedly and sighed. Nameless, poor child, you lied to her. Amada Mima replied. I'm not lying. No matter what, her mission will not change. It's my mission too. Because Wu-ming is back, you decided to use me first, right? I will die today. Facing the words of extinguishing the fire, Tiantiao Mima remained silent. According to the plan, he would definitely die if he put out the fire. Yuna said, Miss Calamus, it's almost time. Sifengchuan Iris put on a red oil paper umbrella, and she was going to the meeting with Yuna. Because the meeting could only be for women and children, she didn't bring Joji Lackey with her. Master Maeda, thank you very much for arranging our trip to Kongogo. Haha, it is natural for the shogunate to do things for the people. Compared with these, it is stipulated that the accompanying persons can only be women and children, which is really embarrassing. But if we don't do this, everyone will oppose the arrival of the American horse. As for the holiday with the general, I think Mima-sama doesn't mind for a long time. Otherwise, why would he have been fighting Kabani for the sake of the shogunate for 10 years? Lord Maeda and Miss Iris are chatting with each other. It can be heard that Lord Maeda admires the beautiful horse very much. At this time, Mima Tiantori was on the way with Yanwo and Wu-ming. You actually want to stop us with these people? Wu-ming and Yanwo rode together, looking at the guards on the road with disdain. Extinguish the fire, carefully warned. Without a name, arrogant soldiers will be defeated. The more people underestimate the enemy, the easier it is to lose their lives. They may lose their lives one day. Don't worry, we won't die before letting my brother see our hometown. Yanhuo turned around silently, feeling reassured that she was going to die soon. Dash 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 dash. Forget it, count the time, it's almost time. Lin Chen chuckled lightly, returned to the station and summoned everyone in Jatichung to announce. Regarding the large number of Kabani on Ketchung, according to my investigation just now, Amada Mima may have betrayed humans. As soon as this statement came out, there was an uproar. Impossible, how could Master Mima do such a thing? Lin Chen shouted loudly, quiet. Now I order Arakawa Kibutsu to immediately lead all the samurai team members to gather near the city wall. I have received intelligence that the Karakata people will spread blood to attract Kabani, and the unknown lady will be responsible for lowering the suspension bridge and sending out the signal. I suspect that Miss Wu-ming has been deceived. Wait for Wu-ming to put down the suspension bridge and send a signal. Arakawa Kibito, you put away the suspension bridge immediately. Miss Wu-ming should help you defend Kabani's attack. I don't hope this is true, but in order to prevent Iwato Station from falling like Kenkan Station, we must take precautions. Lin Chen handed Arakawa Kibito a flash bomb and 2 Molotov cocktails and told him how to use them. Soon, the warrior team left under Lin Chen's gaze. If Amada Mima betrays, then Miss Akoris will be in danger, but currently we have no evidence and cannot break into the inner city without permission. Kuji Leizu, you lead the escort team to ambush around Ketchung. As Miss Akoris, Aminora Mima should be transported back to Ketchung. Once Miss Chengpu is found, she should be rescued immediately. Master Chengxi, has Master Mei Ma really betrayed you? Lin Chen shouted. My investigation has been betrayed, although there is no evidence yet. But we have to take precautions. If the warrior team and the escort team are not used, of course it would be best. If nothing happens after today and I can't produce evidence, I will personally plead guilty to Mr. Mima. With Lin Chen's reputation in the Iron City, as long as he doesn't directly confront Tiantiao Mima, there will be no problem. After everything was arranged, Lin Chen handed the master key to Ikoma, arranged for him to be the temporary commander, and then headed to the inner city under the cover of night cloak. Dash 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 dash. Inner city, reception room. This is the first time we meet. I am the leader of the Karakata clan, Amata Mima. At 5 steps and 1 post, and 10 steps and 1 sentry, Amata Mima appeared in the conference room with a woman and a child, which made Lord Maeda's staff feel slightly relieved. However, the leader of the guards, Van Heng, was not at ease. He pointed his gun at Tiantiao Mima's head, saying that he could still talk to him this way. Amata Mima didn't care, and sat down to discuss the food supply issue with Lord Maeda. Suddenly, Wuming made a voice. "Brother, I want to go to the toilet." "Hurry up, I can't hold it in anymore." Wuming's legs rubbed against each other, looking like a child who couldn't hold it in any longer. Amata Mima apologized. "Can you please send someone to take her to the toilet?" "Haha, of course it's no problem." After the attendant led her to the toilet, Wuming suddenly knocked down all the guards on the road and sneaked all the way to the drawbridge switch of the city wall gate. In Kechung, a commander of the remaining Karakata soldiers looked at the clock and showed a ferocious smile. "It's almost time. Let's settle the accounts with them so far." Under the commander's order, the elite troops of the Kargata were immediately dispatched. Wuming lowered the suspension bridge and sent a signal with a mirror. Wuming murmured, "Just shut us out, we won't let you bully us." As expected, as Master Chengxi said, the beautiful birds and horses have indeed betrayed humanity. An angry male voice came from behind Wuming. Arakawa Kibitsu led the samurai team out of the shadows nearby. Wuming was surprised and said, "Kibito, why are you here? Why did the unknown lady let Kabani enter the city?" "What Kabani? I just let Kechung in. We have been fighting Kabani, but Yicheng didn't let us in." Arakawa Kibitsu threw the telescope to Wuming and sneered, "See for yourself." Wuming took it and took a look, only to see the motorcycle cavalrymen of the Karakata clan running towards the suspension bridge while splashing blood on the ground. Behind them are mountains and seas of Kabani, like a wave, with no end as far as the eye can see. Wuming put down the telescope with a bloodless face and murmured to himself, "Why? Why are the Karakata people attracting Kabani? Aren't they just entering the city to seek justice?" Arakawa Kibitsu ignored the shocked Mumi and immediately ordered the samurai team members next to him to recover the suspension bridge. "The fish has taken the bait. Master Chen Shi is really clever. These traitors really want to lure Kabani." "Close your eyes." Arakawa Kibito, who had just experienced the destruction of the Shonjin station not long ago, was extremely disgusted with this kind of betrayal. He threw the flash bomb according to the method taught to him by Lin Chen. The Karakatas who were trying to throw darts under the wall to cut off the ropes of the suspension bridge were suddenly dodged. All the motorcycle riders could not see the way forward and could only drive with their eyes closed. Then Arakawa Kibito threw a Molotov cocktail on the only way to the suspension bridge. The Karakata people dodge and rush with their eyes closed. I don't know how many people fell off their motorcycles and rushed into the moat. Even if you were lucky enough to be fine, looking at the slowly rising suspension bridge, there is a fire of Molotov cocktails in front, and then looking at the endless wave of Kabani behind. At the same time, I touched the trunk and saw, well, a box of blood that had just been opened, and my face suddenly turned to dust. I felt like I might as well just die. Effortlessly, the invincible elites of the hunter were trapped and died under the city wall, and were quickly devoured by Kabani. The city guards of Iwado Station on the wall above also reacted, sounded the emergency alarm, and joined the samurai team led by Arakawa Kibitsu to resist the Kabani wave. Wuming also reacted. Although she didn't know why it was different from what her brother said and why Arakawa Kibitsu appeared here with the samurai team, she still helped to resist Kabani. Arakawa Kibitsu also followed Lin Chen's instructions and did not make things difficult for Wuming. Although there are many Kabani, it is still impossible to capture Iwado Station with its tall walls and rows of artillery. Everyone in the conference room listened to the alarm of Kabani's invasion and had not yet reacted. "Do it." Tiantiao Mima and Mie Huo quickly killed the city lord, staff, and guards in the conference room, leaving only Sifengchuan Chengpu and her entourage. To the subordinates who had sneaked in without knowing when, Amata Mima waved her hand and said, "Take her back to Kechung and lock her up." Shifengchuan Irie's uncle is a veteran of the Shogunate, and Amada Mima wants to use this relationship to sneak into Kongogo. After killing the command corps of Iwado Station, Tiantiao Mima and Mie Huo secretly came to a quiet and uninhabited house, while Lin Chen hung secretly behind them. In order to prevent being discovered by the fire extinguisher, Lin Chen did not rely on the night cloak to get inside. He looked at the guards outside the conference room. When the guards were gone, it meant that he had taken action. After all, extinguishing the fire and injecting black plasma is the most vulnerable time, and after the transformation is completed, he still doesn't recognize his relatives. Amada Mima and his men will definitely run away. Put out the fire, come here. Inside the house, Amada Mima took out a bottle of black medicine and slowly injected it into Yan Huo. Just after the injection was completed, Yan Huo lost consciousness and began to change. Fusion group fire fighting, hit points, undead, energy, strength, continuously rising, agile, physique, continuing to rise, intelligence, charm, skill 1, transformation, an incredible transformation is taking place. Lin Chen shouted in his heart, now, drink blood boiling potion deteriorated version in one gulp, and your strength, sensitivity, and body will increase by 5 points in 1 minute. Later, he launched the mental shock of fusion group Kabanary's pain on Amada Mima and marked him with a revenge mark, causing Amada Mima to fall into a painful illusion. Lin Chen quickly stepped out with his divine movement and chopped off Amada Mima's right arm with a sword. The fire extinguisher he was holding in his arms fell to the ground. The huge pain made Amada Mima wake up. He looked at Lin Chen who was cutting down the fire. Although he didn't understand the situation, Amada Mima knew that the situation was not good for him. He struggled to hold the gun with his left hand to stop Lin Chen. Lin Chen pulled the flash bomb tied behind his back. The flash bomb was placed behind his back to ensure that Lin Chen could not dodge. However, Tianiao Mima, who was holding a gun and trying to aim at Lin Chen, his eyes turned white and he could not see anything. Perfect. Lin Chen pierced Yan Huo's heart with one sword, and cut off Yan Huo's head with another sword to prevent him from cheating. Hint: you killed the fusion group, extinguish the fire. Tip: you got the treasure chest green. Then he turned around and attacked the newly blinded Amada. Amada endured the pain and tears and forced his eyes open. He saw Lin Chen's Qinghong sword had already arrived in front of his face. Lin Chen once again cut off his left arm with one sword, arm. Tiantori Mima, who had lost both arms, was pinned to the ground by Lin Chen and could not move. He was full of confusion. Who am I? Where am I? Just now, my head hurt, and then my right hand was gone. I subconsciously looked at the attacker, and suddenly I went blank again. I couldn't see anything, and when I opened my eyes again, my left hand was gone. He took out the rope and tied a tight knot on Amada Mima. He successfully lost the ability to move. Lin Chen rubbed his chin. Looking at Mima Amada who was lying on the ground and still doubting her life, Lin Chen said that the ultimate villain is just like that, just stabbed her in the back and disappeared with a flash of light. Even Lin Chen's backups, Molotov cocktails, Eternal Oath, etc. were not put to use. It was very embarrassing. Lin Chen put away the Molotov cocktail sadly, and wanted to use Eternal Oath and Tiandiao Mima to burn him in a fire. Zongzi on the ground asked weakly, "Who are you?" Lin Chen said lightly, "You can call me Chen Shi. Didn't Mr. Mei Ma come to me to get the key before? How about it? The key is absolutely true and I never lie." Tiantiao Mima laughed crazily and said, "So you are Chen Shi, and I underestimated you. But although you stopped me, it was already too late, ha ha ha." "Ah, are you saying that Wu Ming lowered the suspension bridge to lure Kabani into the city? I have already sent a samurai team to wait there. Your subordinates should have fed Kabani by now. As for Miss Calamus, I have already sent an escort to greet you. I should be cleaning up your laboratory in Kechung now." Tiantori Mima's smile suddenly stopped. "I know your plan. First, you deceive Wu Ming to help you lower the suspension bridge. Then the Karakata people lead Kabani into the city. You kill the city lord and make Iwado Station lose command and fall into chaos. Then you inject black plasma into the extinguisher to turn it into black smoke. The monster broke down the castle gate and massacred the entire Iwado Station. By taking advantage of Miss Akoris's relationship with the old Chinese uncle, use the people of Iron City to feed the Kabani on Kachung, let Miss Akoris pretend to capture you, and drive Kachung into Kongongwo. Smear the dagger given to you by the general with Kabani virus, and then ask the general to kill you with a dagger. As soon as the general touches the dagger, he will turn into Kakabane. Then you can publicize that the general has been replaced by Kabani, and Kabani has already sneaked into King Kongwo, and then released Kachung to feed. In Kabani, Wuming was injected with black plasma to turn into a monster, and he and the Karakata people massacred the entire Vajra kingdom in one fell swoop. Tiantiao Mima's mind was buzzing and she said in disbelief, "How do you know my plan?" Lin Chen ignored the completely crazy Tiantiao Mima lying on the ground and looked at the camera recording on his body. Very good, the evidence was obtained. He is a man of his word, and he said he would produce evidence today. In the face of enough information, Mima Amatori and his Karakata organizations are unable to defeat them head-on no matter what. It was destroyed so quickly and easily, without even causing a ripple. Lin Chen carried the beautiful bird with both arms to the city wall and looked at the Kabani group attacking the city below. Although there were many Kabani, facing the tall city walls and moats, they could only be slowly bombarded to ashes by artillery. Those who could occasionally climb up were shot to death under the control of the samurai team. Mima Amata betrayed humanity, intended to lure Kabani into the city, kidnapped Miss Shibagawa Iris, the heir of Shibagawa, and killed the lord and staff of Iwado Station. It was a heinous crime. Now that Amata Mima has been captured alive, all Karakata members please surrender immediately and put down their weapons. I will ensure the personal safety of those who surrender. Anyone who dares to resist will be killed immediately. Lin Chen announced to everyone through the radio that Mima Tiantiao had been captured alive, and all parties reacted differently. The ignorant people. How could Master Mima be betrayed by humanity? The samurai troops of Iwado Station who were fighting Kabani and the Karakatas. What? The lord of the castle was killed by Amatori Mima. The Karakata people who were struggling to resist said, "Impossible, how could Master Mima fail?" The people in Jatichung cheered. Not only did Mima Skeetery betray humanity, but he also dared to kidnap Lord Iris. Fortunately, Master Chengxi has already seen through Mima Skytori's evil plot. The hunters put down their weapons one after another and chose to surrender. Amata Mima was their leader. The news that their leader was captured alive made them lose their will to resist. Master Chengxi, we indeed received Master Chengpu near Kechong, and we found this from the laboratory in Kechong. Zhu Zhilaishi and Sifengchuan Chengpu led the escort team back. They also escorted all the technical staff in the Kechong laboratory. Zhu Zhilaishi handed Lin Chen a suitcase. Lin Chen took it and opened it, only to see 2 potions inside, with labels on them, black plasma and white plasma. Black plasma, place of origin, various worlds game park. Quality, purple. Category, consumables. Usage requirements, Kabinary. Rating, 150. Purple extreme rating, purple rating is 71 to 150. Effect 1. Let the female Kabani enter the new state, with the female Kabani as the core, gathering the groups of Kabani and corpses into a huge group, which will continue to absorb human corpses and Kabani to grow, and gain skills, energy cannon. Effect 2. Put the male Kabinary into an over-limit state, greatly improve all attributes, and obtain the skill, energy cannon. Effect 3. Both women and men will completely lose consciousness and turn into Kabani. Introduction. Although it has the side effect of making people lose their minds, it can turn mortal humans into siege monsters that can continue to grow. This is the technological crystallization of the game world and the essence of Amatori Mima's long-term research and development. Note: black plasma is a core item in the game world and cannot be brought back to the game parks of all worlds. White blood plasma, place of origin, various worlds game park. Quality, purple. Category, consumables. Requirements for use, Kabinary and black plasma injection. Rating, 132. Purple rating is 71 to 150. Effect, terminates the effect of black plasma and restores Kabinary's sanity. Introduction. The use of white plasma and black plasma allows Kabinary to use the power of black plasma at no cost. Note: white blood plasma is the core item of this game world and cannot be brought back to the game parks of various worlds. As expected of the purple quality, although it has quite a few side effects, if its weaknesses are not targeted, there is simply no solution on the battlefield. It ignores damage and is immortal. It can fire energy cannons like the tailed beast Jade in Naruto. Its whole body is made of Kabani, and it can be infected by just touching it. If there is a world without Kabani, a large-scale undead natural disaster can be directly created. The energy cannon skills are outrageous. The woman can smash the city wall gate with one cannon, while the male protagonist of the anime shot away the moving armored train, Kechung. If this could be brought back to paradise, that would be a hell of a thing. These two potions would have been impossible for 99% of the players to see if Lin Chen had not had the foresight to let Joji Lezu bring the escort team in advance. They will sink into the sea with Kuchi-Rasu, and they will be obtained by the protagonist who is thrown into the sea and happens to meet Kuchi-Rasu. Without having an affair with the goddess of luck, it is undoubtedly a foolish dream to jump into the sea together to get them. The people of Kotetsu Castle, Wuming and the garrison leader of Iwado Station had repelled Kabani's siege and gathered behind Lin Chen. Wuming looked at Tiantiao Mima, who was thrown to the ground by Lin Chen, and asked loudly, "Brother, why do you want to do such a thing? Didn't we agree that Funk City will come in to seek justice?" Wuming couldn't understand that his wise brother would actually do such a thing. There must be some misunderstanding. However, Tiantiao Mima lay on the ground and did not respond. His eyes were dull, and he was still thinking in his heart, "Why does this Chengxi know that I will escort Sifengchuan a chorus back to Kechung? When I went to the conference room by myself, only then did I know that Sifengchuan Chengpu was also in the conference room. It was my temporary decision to escort Sifengchuan Chengpu back to Kechung. Why did he send someone to ambush him in advance? Who actually leaked my plan? But it's impossible to leak it. I just thought of escorting Sifengchuan Chengpu back to Kechung on the spur of the moment. Could it be that I am the traitor?" Lin Chen looked at Mima Amata, who closed his eyes and doubted his life. He was already 99.99% close to success, and then he was crushed to pieces by Lin Chen in an instant. The blow would indeed be a bit big. He coughed softly. "Ahem, I have evidence of the beautiful birds and horses here." Lin Chen took out the video recorder and projected it for everyone to watch. On the screen, Mima Tiantori was like a behind-the-scenes villain who personally injected black plasma into the fire, and then was blasted by Lin Chen. Finally, Lin Chen read out the entire plan. He asked in disbelief, "How do you know my plan?" Everyone never expected that Amata Mima not only wanted to massacre Iwado Station, but even wanted to massacre the entire Kongogo. Sifengchuan Chengpu covered his mouth in disbelief. Why would Master Mima want to do this? The general is your biological father, and King Kongguo has hundreds of thousands of people. Lin Chen said softly, "It's just revenge." When Amata Mima led the army to attack Kabani 10 years ago, he was feared by the general, and his logistics was cut off, which led to Amata Mima being besieged. Amata Mima became Kabani. Rusai survived. With a flash of light, the Qinghong sword cut open the clothes, revealing the blood-red heart of Tiantiao Mima as proof. Afterwards, Mima Amatori no longer returned to Kongokaku. He founded the Karakata clan, openly crusaded against Kabani, and secretly continued to conduct human experiments. People like Wuming and Mingwo were his products. In long-term human experiments, he found that women are more likely to become Kabaneri, and only female Kabaneri can become a fusion group after being injected with black plasma. "Wuming, do you still remember that fusion group we met on the road?" Wuming subconsciously replied, "Remember, that was the first time I encountered a fusion group." Lin Chen asked, "You were responsible for breaking the core of the fusion group at that time. Did you also see a woman in the core?" That was also the masterpiece of Amata Mima. He used Yashura Station as an experiment for the fusion group. At that time, the woman was also transformed into Kabaneri through human experimentation by Mima Amata, like Wuming Yu and Yan Huo, and then injected with black plasma to turn into a monster. Quote, "And Miss Wuming, you are the ultimate weapon that Mima Amato is preparing to use in Kongo Guo." Lin Chen raised the black plasma in his hand and spoke word by word. "Mixed with black blood plasma by the strongest female Kabaneri, this is the gift prepared by Mima Amata for King Kong Guo." Wuming covered his lips in disbelief. "So all this is a lie to me?" "Brother, the crusade against all Kabani and the retaking of all territories are all lies." Everyone looked at the collapsed Wuming with pity. Currently, due to the betrayal of Mima Adamori, Lord Maeda, his staff and bodyguards have all died. Before Kongokaku's order comes, I declare that Kotetsu Castle will now take over Iwado Station Castle. Faced with Lin Chen's move to temporarily take over Iwado Station from Iron Castle, the surviving garrison leaders of Iwado Station all agreed. If Lin Chen hadn't discovered Amatori Mima's conspiracy in advance, Iwado Station would have fallen long ago, and Lin Chen only took over temporarily. Compared with Lin Chen's contribution, the problem was not big. Lin Chen was secretly happy when he saw that no one objected. He was thinking that if the entire Iwado Station was handed over to the management of Kotetsu Castle, would he be considered a survivor of Kotetsu Castle? Main mission: protect the survivors on the Iron City. The more survivors, the higher the rating. As the strongest and last barrier of the Shogunate's capital, Kongogaku, the entire Iwado Station has a population of more than 200,000, while the entire Kotetsu Castle only has about 1,000 people. If so, wouldn't the settlement evaluation of the main quest be sky high? Throw all the surrendered members of the Karakata clan into prison, increase the intensity of guarding, and wait for King Kong Guo's opinion on the matter. At the same time, the fugitive Karakata clan will be wanted. The original defenders of Iwano Station immediately appeased the people and strengthened their vigilance in the past few days to prevent the Karakata and Kabani from attacking again. Kibito Arakawa immediately led the samurai team to seal the city. The experimenters above were held in solitary confinement and no one was allowed to approach. Kuji Kurusu will lead the escort team to patrol the Iron Castle. Finally, Lin Chen decisively pierced the heart of Amada Mima, who was still doubting his life. In order to prevent Amada Mima from escaping, I will kill Amada Mima, bury the body, and wait for King Kong Guo's order. This is the end of a generation of heroes. Improvement: you killed the leader of the hunting party, Amada Mima. Tip: you got the treasure chest green. Hint: you destroyed the camp hunters. Tip: the player kills the leader of a camp for the first time and destroys the camp. Tip: players obtain achievements, Faction Destroyer. Tip: for the first time, the player, as the leader of one camp, kills the leader of the other camp and destroys that camp. Tip: players get achievements, the consequences of being my enemy. Faction Destroyer. Conditions for obtaining: kill the leader of one camp and destroy that camp. Achievement effect: when fighting with camp leaders, full strength is increased by 5%, can be upgraded. The consequences of being my enemy. Conditions for obtaining: as the leader of one camp, kill the leader of the other camp and destroy that camp. Achievement effect: when the player is the leader of the camp, the enemy camp is more likely to panic, can be upgraded. Wuming looked at the killed Adamori Mima sadly. Brother. Lin Chen explained. Amada Mima is a Kabaneri and is very powerful. Even if his arms are chopped off, it is still very dangerous, and there are still Karakata remnants who may rescue him. Amatori Mima is a mortal sin, so why not kill them as soon as possible without leaving any trouble? If you have any questions, you can contact Miss Calamus. Now everyone go get busy. Yes, Lord Chenxi. Everyone gradually dispersed in admiration. You guy, you left all your affairs to me again. Sifengchuan Chengpu, who stayed in place, looked at the young man standing by the city wall. The cloak behind him rustled in the wind, and the blood on the Qinghong sword in his hand had not yet dried. Excellent swordsmanship, wisdom to see everything, and mystery. The origins of everything are curious. Sifengchuan Chengpu said to Lin Chen. Sometimes I wonder if Mr. Chenxi is still a human being. You have saved us again. When can I be as good as you? Lin Chen smiled and said, Miss Calamus will also become an excellent leader one day. Returning to his room, he looked around furtively and found that there was no one around. The great Lord Chenxi threw himself on his bed and rubbed the quilt crazily. Get rich. Lin Chen counted the harvest and found 2 green treasure boxes. Treasure box green, firefighting, treasure box green, sky birds and beautiful horses. The resistance hunters and Kabani dropped 9 treasure chests, white. These are all secondary. Lin Chen didn't expect that killing Tiantiao Mima would allow him to obtain 2 achievements. These things were never taught in school. However, Lin Chen thought about it and felt that it was really difficult. The faction destroyer requirement was outrageous, killing the leader of one camp and destroying that camp. Players are struggling in the game world. The most they can do is join a better camp, kill the camp leader and destroy the camp. Most players cannot defeat the camp leader, and even if they do, they cannot destroy the entire camp. The fate of being my enemy is even more outrageous. The prerequisite is to first become the leader of the camp and then destroy the entire camp. Lin Chen believed that there must be people who have obtained it, but the school will not teach these things. How to teach students how to be a camp leader or how to destroy a camp? The students below probably rolled their eyes at him on the spot, which is too disrespectful to them. Moreover, this is also very precious information and cannot be used for free. For example, Lin Chen, who became the leader of Iron City this time, received more than 60 white treasure chests, and the income was astonishing. Lin Chen opened the treasure chest green, put out the fire, the treasure chest green, the beautiful bird and horse. Hint: you opened the treasure chest green. Hint: you have obtained the transformation potion. Tip: you got 1900 game coins. Hint: you opened the treasure chest green. Hint: you got the hunting blade. Tip: you got 2000 game coins. Metamorphosis potion. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: consumables. Requirements for use: intelligence 7 or above. Rating: 30. Green. Quality limit. Effect: transformation, temporary increase in strength and constitution by 10 points, cannot exceed the limit of 50 points, lasting for 1 minute, no side effects. Introduction: an extremely rare medicine, because all the side effects of black plasma are absorbed by Cabaneri, it loses the pure power of transformation left after various side effects. Hunting blade. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: weapons. Durability: 100/100. Attack power: 23 to 60. Ammunition capacity: 6/6. Equipment requirements: strength 20 points or more. Rating: 30. Green weapon. Extreme rating. Equipment effect 1. Hunting, sharpness and solidity increased by 50%. Special effect: a heavy hit can shoot bullets, and the bullet power is increased by 50%. Introduction: the weapon of the leader of the Kargata, the whole body is made of Kabani's heart membrane. It is a perfect weapon for both melee and long-range combat. Faced with these two items, Lin Chen could only say that the game world restricted the extinguishment and bird beauty horses. Before the first level, they could only drop green. Lin Chen was very excited when he saw the transformation potion. He drank the boiling blood potion deteriorated version before, which only added 15 attributes in total. The after effects made Lin Chen's legs weak and he almost knelt down, feeling that his body was hollowed out. Lin Chen, wake up, shook his head, and gave up the dangerous idea of pouring black plasma into Wu Ming's body and then hacking him to death. Hunting blade is a top-notch weapon among green weapons. Unfortunately, the shape does not match Lin Chen. Lin Chen is more accustomed to using a pure sword like the Qinghong sword, and Lin Chen does not like the shooting function. Lin Chen plans to sell it, and I believe he will be given a satisfactory price. Open 9 more white boxes, some materials and 1,300 game coins, all of which were sold for money. Lin Chen currently has 19,200 game coins, which is much better than the embarrassment he had when he first entered the game world. There are also black plasma and white plasma. Lin Chen looked at these two purple items and pondered. I still can't think of any use for it. Maybe it allows players to inject Wu Ming or Ikoma to fight against the fire extinguisher and Amada Mima. But these two have been hacked to death by me in advance. Everything has been settled. These two purple items are no longer of use, and they cannot be brought back to the game world. They are useless. Lin Chen smiled bitterly. It was the first time that he got 2 purple items in one go, but it was useless. Lord Chengxi, there is news from King Kong Guo. The general asked us to imprison the hunters and wait for the arrival of King Kong Guo's envoy. Listening to Kongo Guo's reply, it was as expected by Lin Chen. Ever since Amada Mima broke with the Shogunate, his father had sent people to assassinate him not long ago. Killing Amada Mima would not be a problem. The general would not. He will help Amada Mima get revenge. Even if there is a problem, it doesn't matter. It takes 3 days to get to Iwado Station by train from Kongogo. Lin Chen has already returned. One night, everyone in Jiadicheng had something to do but could not find Lin Chen, so they searched everywhere and finally found the note left by Lin Chen in Lin Chen's room. Lin Chen didn't like the parting scene. Tip: the main mission, protecting the survivors on the Iron Fortress, has been completed. Tip: the player has reached the return conditions, and the player will return in 30 seconds, please note. Transmission has been started. Body transfer in progress. The transfer is completed, the player returns to the exclusive room. The exclusive room is an absolutely safe place and no one can enter except with the permission of the player. Dear players, welcome back to the game paradise of all worlds. Players have returned to the World Game Park and rewards have begun to be settled. Game World. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Difficulty: LV1. Main mission: protect the survivors on the Iron Fortress. Number of survivors 243,156. Mission rating S. Become the leader of the Iron Fortress. Evaluation increases. Kill Yashara Station Fusion Group rating increases. Kill Fusion Group Fire Extinguishing rating increases. Destruction of Hunter Fangzong evaluation increased. Kill Tori Mima rating increases. Obtained black plasma and white plasma but did not use them evaluation increased. Final rating. Max world limit. Obtain rewards. Player level +4, 20 free attribute points, max level reward, 20,000 game coins. Task evaluation max. Lin Chen opened his eyes wide. Is there such a comment? However, Lin Chen's experience was indeed outrageous. If Lin Chen hadn't known the direction of the plot, it would have been impossible to kill the two bosses, Mie Huo and Tiantiao Mima, and destroy the Karkata people to obtain black plasma and white plasma. She was completely counting every step of Mima Amata, and even saw through her panties. Just taking over Iwado Station's population of more than 200,000 was enough for Lin Chen's main mission rating to reach S. The max rating is good, the level is +4, and the 20 free attribute points are equivalent to the S rating of 2 game worlds. However, it was a loss for Lin Chen. He had to experience one less game world, activate his talent killing promotion one less time, and lose a total of 10 free attribute points. Lin Chen could only place his hope on max level rewards, hoping that the max level rewards could be worth the 2S level rewards and 10 free attribute points. Receive award. Tip: max rewards are being drawn for players. 2 bottles of medicine flew in front of Lin Chen. It was Lin Chen who did not use black plasma and white plasma. Enveloped in a golden light, the 2 bottles of potion began to merge, and finally, a bottle of golden potion floated in front of Lin Chen's eyes. Tip: players obtain Cabaneri Strengthening Potion Perfect Version. Cabaneri Strengthening Potion Perfect Version. Place of origin: various worlds game park. Quality: max evaluation reward. Category: consumables. Usage requirements: none. Effect: strength, agility, physique, intelligence, and charm are permanently increased by 5 points, and the expertise of low-level self-healing is obtained. Introduction: the fusion potion made from black plasma and white plasma is a perfect potion that eliminates all side effects due to its incredible power. 25 attribute points plus a self-healing specialty, this is the max level reward. Lin Chen took a breath. Tip: players obtain Ikoma's Guardian Stone. An emerald green stone appeared in front of Lin Chen's eyes. Ikoma's Guardian Stone. Origin: Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Quality: none. Special items. Category: props. Usage requirements: Lin Chen. Effect 1. Luck +1. Effect 2. Good luck. Luck increases by 5 points for 10 seconds, cooling time, once in the game world. Introduction: Ikoma and his sister Hatsune once picked up 2 emerald green stones by the river, and each of them used one as a guardian stone. Later, during the Kabani attack, Hatsune was attacked by Kabani and turned into Kabani. Ikoma personally blasted his sister's heart with a self-determination bag. Ikoma abandoned his own stone and tied the stone on his sister's body to his right hand and preserved it to this day. This piece is Ikoma's guardian stone. Lin Chen looked at the lonely lucky one on his panel, and finally he was saved. From now on, don't call me a non-chief again. He held the guardian stone excitedly. Lin Chen's lips were harder to press than axe. How to improve luck? According to the school's teachings, the answer is none. There is no way to improve luck. When many players reach level 6, their luck is only 1 point, and all props related to luck are sky-high prices. Lin Chen had heard of a one-time prop, the Talisman of the Dwarf God, before. When it is forged, luck will be temporarily increased by 10 points. It was fought over by many big guys, and finally bought at a high price by the leader of a small country. Ikoma's Guardian Stone is simple and crude. It directly gives a permanent +1 to luck, and the special effects of good luck are also very good. Luck temporarily adds 5 points, and the victory can be used once at the end of each game world. The long-term benefits are considerable. Overall, the max income this time was very high, and Lin Chen was very satisfied, whether it was the plain and simple Kabinary Strengthening Potion Perfect Edition which added attribute points and expertise, or the Ikoma's Guardian Stone which added luck. Tip: the player obtains a max level evaluation for the first time. Tip: players obtain advancement stones. Advanced stone. Place of origin: various worlds game park. Quality. Category: props. Usage requirements: Lin Chen. Effect: used next time when the player advances, the game content will be randomly enhanced during the advancement, such as upper limit of strength, player privileges, etc. Introduction: various world game park rewards players with max level evaluations, which can help players advance. This advancement stone seems to be only used when advancing. Lin Chen carefully put away the advancement stone. There is no information about this kind of thing in the school, and all of it is a treasure. Lin Chen took out Kabinary Strengthening Potion Perfect Version and asked cautiously how to use it in Paradise, by injection or oral administration. Tip: players can get all the effects by drinking it directly. Looking at the golden potion, Lin Chen drank it all. It feels a bit like orange juice, it tastes good, but why is there no reaction? Li Yuan, you tricked me again. Lin Chen's expression suddenly changed, and a pain starting from his bone marrow swept through his body. Lin Chen lay on the ground, his body twisting constantly. His whole body, from his brain to his calves, seemed to be bitten by thousands of insects. People like Lin Chen, who had experienced various deaths in the training ground, felt their defenses broken and heartbroken. Tip: after the player takes the potion, the strength, agility, constitution, intelligence, and charm will be permanently increased by 5 points. Tip: players gain expertise, low-level self-healing. Lin Chen lay on the ground for a full hour before he regained his composure. In ancient times, people were cut into pieces by 1,000 cuts, and Ling Kai was no more than that. Kabinary Strengthening Potion Perfect Version left a huge shadow on Lin Chen. Li Yuan, why didn't you say it hurts so much? Tip: the player did not ask about pain or other related questions. Won't you tell yourself if I don't ask you? Didn't you say there are no side effects? Tip: Kabinary Strengthening Potion Perfect Version has removed all side effects. Pain is not a side effect, and the main cause of pain is the transformation of specialty, low-level self-healing. Tip: if players want to avoid pain, they can use the potion nutrition chamber to take it. Lin Chen was almost mad at Li Yuan. Next time I trust you, I will be a dog. Open personal information. Personal information is as follows. Player number: 19,820,009,527. Name: Lin Chen. Nationality: Longguo. Level: LV.6. Rank: not yet entered. Health: 100%. This attribute cannot be fully digitized. Energy value: 150/150ths. Strength: 28. Agility: 35. Constitution: 28. Intelligence: 15. Charisma: 14. Lucky: 2. Free attribute points: 60 points. Talent: killing promotion. After killing the target, you will gain permanent 1 to 5 free attribute points. This talent can gain up to 10 permanent free attribute points in each game world. Expertise: 1. Sword Mastery, LV1 passive. 2. Fists and Kicks Basics, LV5 passive. 3. Throwing Basics, LV6 passive. 4. Meditation Basics, LV5 passive. 5. Low-level self-healing cannot be improved. Physical recovery effect is increased by 100%, and injury self-healing speed is increased by 100%. Skill: Skill 1. Divine Movement, LV15 active skill. Quality: green. Conditions of use: None. Effect 1. Magical movement. Movement speed increased by 45%. Effect 2. Variety of changes. Improved dodge ability. Equipment. 1. Qinghong sword green. 2. Gold silk soft nails green. 3. Night cloak green. 4. Eternal vow mail white. 5. Fusion group Combinaries pain green. Note: there are still 3 calendar days before the next game starts. Lin Chen looked at himself and saw that he still had 60 free attribute points. He had never obtained so many free attribute points before. Lin Chen seemed like a rich man who suddenly became rich. There is nothing much to say. Let's just raise the 3 major melee attributes such as strength, agility, and constitution to 50. A total of 59 free attribute points were spent. Lin Chen added 1 point to intelligence and spent all the free attribute points. There was another drastic change that was more painful than before, but Lin Chen had just experienced the torture of Combinary Strengthening Potion Perfect version, so the pain was not worth mentioning. Tip: the player's strength reaches 50 points, which is the limit before entering the level. Players are advised to advance as soon as possible. Tip: the player's agility reaches 50 points, which is the limit before entering the level. Players are advised to advance as soon as possible. Tip: the player's physical fitness reaches 50 points, which is the limit before entering the level. Players are advised to advance as soon as possible. Open Personal Properties panel. The personal panel is as follows. Player number: 19,820,009,527. Name: Lin Chen. Nationality: Longguo. Level: LV.6. Rank: not yet entered. Health: 100%. This attribute cannot be fully digitized. Energy value: 160/160th. Strength: 50 current level limit. Agility: 50 current level limit. Physique: 50 current level limit. Intelligence: 16. Charisma: 14. Lucky: 2. Free attribute points: none. Lin Chen looked at his luxurious attribute panel and was frightened by himself. He was simply a monster. The vast majority of ordinary people will experience 10 game worlds and get 10B level evaluations or even lower. They will only get 100 free attribute points caused by upgrading. Just barely get your most important attribute to 50 and that's about it. Name: Ordinary Soldier. Strength: 50. Agility: 21. Constitution: 35. Intelligence: 17. The above is the approximate attribute level of an ordinary melee player when advancing. A monster with a full A level rating will have 2 limits, and a monster with a full S level rating will have 3 limits. Most people will form adventure groups to play the game because most people are only good at one attribute direction and must form a team to complement each other. Lin Chen, level 6, has only experienced 2 game worlds and has already reached the limit of 3 attributes. He can be said to be a monster among monsters. The intelligence is a bit low, only 16 points. Lin Chen analyzed his panel and found that it could only be said to be at the level of ordinary melee combat, and he would need to strengthen it next. Lin Chen moved his body, tried to take a few steps forward, and then successfully jumped into the street. The attribute value suddenly increased too much, but the intelligence did not improve much, causing Lin Chen to temporarily lose control of his body. After the upgrade last time, he could still walk, but this time he couldn't even walk. Lin Chen lay on the ground speechless. What to do if you encounter difficulties? Lin Chen said, don't panic, just let it go. Lin Chen twisted and crawled on the ground, no one saw it anyway, climbed into his own bed, and covered himself with a quilt. This was Lin Chen's solution. If you encounter difficulties, just take a nap and that's it. Your brain will subconsciously adapt to your body. Originally, it was at night when I returned, just when I was about to go to bed. Moreover, Lin Chen had always been uncomfortable sleeping on Jaticheng, which was worse than the experience of riding a train in his previous life. As a steam train, the Iron Fortress's shock absorption system cannot be said to be non-existent. It can only be said that the effect is extremely poor. It is almost like riding a bumper car, and it often has to get up in the middle of the night to kill Kabani. Lin Chen didn't dare to sleep to death. If Kabani rushed into the car and came to him, Lin Chen wouldn't be able to withstand it. Without the pressure of the game world and in an absolutely safe personal space, Lin Chen completely relaxed. Lin Chen, who was tired and sleepy and unable to walk, soon fell into sleep. I don't know how long it took, but Lin Chen woke up from hunger. He was too hungry. To improve his physical fitness, he needed a lot of nutrients. That is to say, Lin Chen's sleepiness temporarily suppressed his body's reaction. He picked up the alarm clock and saw that it was afternoon and he had slept for a full 16 hours. After lifting my legs, I feel much better than last night. I can move my body freely. The human body's adaptability is still very good. After taking a nice hot bath, it feels so good. After not taking a hot bath for 10 days, Lin Chen happily put on the brand new combat uniform he just bought. Looking into the mirror, he has a tall and straight figure, short hair as black as ink, sharp facial features, the childishness of a young man but also the prowess tempered by blood and fire, and his eyes are as deep as the sea of stars. Handsome again. Lin Chen said that the 5 points of charm were not added in vain. Note: appearance has nothing to do with charisma, it is only related to innate charm. If a person has 3 points of innate charm, and then increases the points to 30 points, he will become a very approachable and eye-catching ugly guy. Putting on the mask, Lin Chen went out, aiming directly at the food street, after eating a big meal. Lin Chen started to replenish food, such as ghost fire roast duck, emerald roast goose, etc. The food he had prepared before was almost eaten. Then he returned to his personal space and Lin Chen began to count the props in the storage space. Originally, Lin Chen had 19,200 game coins after opening the treasure box. The max level evaluation gave him 20,000 game coins. After buying clothes and replenishing food, he spent 200 game coins. Lin Chen specially collected the money. Lin Chen spent 4,000 game coins to increase the storage space from 2 cubic meters to 6 cubic meters, which greatly reduced the space storage pressure. As for how to spend the remaining 35,000 game coins, Lin Chen thought for a while and took out the Eternal Oath mail. This ring made a great contribution to Lin Chen's first game world, and was upgraded to a growth equipment. It has always been Lin Chen regarded it as a trump card. It's just that Lin Chen, who is a poor man, has never upgraded it, resulting in the lack of growth potential. Lin Chen took out a white material and tried to swallow it up with the ring. A white light appeared from the ring, covering the white material placed next to it. After more than 10 seconds, only a white powder was left on the ground. Eternal Vow male can grow. Origin: Goblin Slayer. Quality: White 1/100. A white material only adds 1 point. Lin Chen seemed to see himself going to the street to beg for food. Relax, maybe if you just eat white equipment, you will get more money. Lin Chen quickly went to the exchange square and bought several white rings. After many experiments, Lin Chen came to the conclusion that according to normal market prices, white equipment is a little more cost-effective than white materials, but not much. But now as a novice, equipment is far more valuable than materials. Lin Chen swallowed all the materials he had for the ring except Kabani's heart membrane, but it was not enough. He also bought about 4,000 game coins from the trading square. Under Lin Chen's painful and twisted gaze, the ring ate up all the materials worth almost 10,000 game coins. Eternal Vow male green light finally emerged. Tip: the vow of eternal life, male successfully advances to green quality. Eternal Vow male can grow. Origin: Goblin Slayer. Quality: green 0/100. Category: ring. Durability: none. Equipment requirements: Lin Chen bound. Rating: 30 full green rating. Equipment effect 1. Miracle Sacred Shield, which automatically generates Miracle Sacred Shield when exposed to fatal danger, lasting for 5 seconds. The defense strength of the Holy Shield is related to one's own strength, and can be used actively. The cooling time is 2 natural days. Special Effect 1. The resistance to negative effects such as Eternal Will, Charm, and Control is greatly increased. Special Effect 2. Growth value can be obtained by absorbing materials and ring-type equipment, and it can evolve when the growth value is reached. Introduction. Eternal vows, like the stars inlaid on a ring, shine with our deep love. Price: not for sale. The cooldown time of Miracle Sacred Shield has been changed from 3 natural days to 2 natural days, and the increase of Eternal Will has been changed from medium to large. Lin Chen was very satisfied with this upgrade. The strength of the holy shield was extremely high. It could now be used once every 2 days, which greatly improved Lin Chen's life-saving ability. Maybe it could be used 3 times a day in the future, Lin Chen thought. As for the eternal will, when Lin Chen accepted the test of fusion group Kabanary's pain, it greatly reduced the difficulty of the test. It is also a very useful special effect. Otherwise, it would not be possible to conquer fusion group Kabanary's pain so smoothly. Lin Chen put away this ring that he loved and felt heartbroken. He loved it because the ring was very effective and could be grown. Heartache is naturally its high price. Usually, an ordinary green equipment only costs 2,000–4,000 game coins, and Eternal Oath only costs about 10,000 game coins to upgrade from white quality to green quality. For the time being, Lin Chen doesn't plan to upgrade. Of course, it's not because he is too cash-strapped and reluctant to spend money. The main reason is that he thinks that improving too quickly is not good for the ring. He needs to consolidate the foundation and then polish it. Young rings need a lot of experience. What should we improve next? Lin Chen sat at his desk and fell into deep thought. In the Kabanary game world of Iron City, Lin Chen was exposed to many problems. Advantage: 1. Powerful single kill ability. 2. Good movement and stealth abilities. 3. Have certain control ability, which refers to fusion group Kabanary's pain. Insufficient. 1. Group attack. Lin Chen's only method of group damage is throwing Molotov cocktails, which is almost useless when facing a creature like Kabani that can roll in flames. Only the hard membrane of Kabani is fatal. When facing the Kabani group alone in the wild, Lin Chen is almost certain to die. 2. Long range. There are no long-range attack methods except throwing objects. 3. Reconnaissance. Lin Chen's only reconnaissance method is binoculars, and Lin Chen cannot hold the binoculars at all times. If he is ambushed, Lin Chen will still die. 4. Cover. Smoke bombs, flash bombs, and bait bombs are ineffective against creatures with a sensitive sense of smell like Kabani. 5. Defense. The only defense method is Eternal Oath, which is the trump card at the bottom of the box. Normal defense can only rely on Golden Thread Soft Armor. To be honest, Lin Chen felt that Golden Silk Soft Armor could no longer keep up with him. After all, it was a temporary transition product when he first became a player. The Golden Silk Soft Armor with a rating of only 16 would have to be rated S level against Lin Chen. Enemies will be easily able to penetrate their defenses. For example, Nima Amada's Hunting Blade and Golden Thread Soft Armor are as brittle as paper. 6. Treatment. All depends on Zhaohong Potion. 7. There are no attack skills, and almost all rely on attribute values to level A. Lin Chen looked at the questions listed on the paper and was so frightened that he broke into a cold sweat. He didn't want to know, and he was frightened just thinking about it. Why do I have so many weaknesses, and my life depends entirely on the protection of Golden Soft Armor? It is completely unacceptable for a steady person like Lin Chen. No, the defense problem must be solved with priority. Lin Chen made up his mind to sell the Gold Silk Soft Armor first to supplement his defense and then solve other problems. Lin Chen then took stock of the items that needed to be sold in the storage space and gathered them together. Suddenly, Lin Chen's eyes stopped. Metamorphosis Potion. Origin: Kabanary of the Iron Fortress. Quality: green. Category: consumables. Requirements for use: Intelligence 7 or above. Rating: 30. Green quality limit. Effect: transformation, temporary increase in strength and constitution by 10 points, cannot exceed the limit of 50 points, lasting for 1 minute, no side effects. Introduction: an extremely rare medicine, because all the side effects of black plasma are absorbed by Kabanary, it loses the pure power of transformation left after various side effects. Lin Chen was holding that Metamorphosis Potion, which Lin Chen originally planned to keep as a desperate trump card. He would fight at least 2 more game worlds, but plans often failed to keep up with changes. The max level rating caused Lin Chen to gain weight, which directly made Lin Chen lose weight. The 3 attributes have reached their limit. Lin Chen never expected that the trump card would end before it even started and was already ineffective. Lin Chen was really reluctant to sell it. This kind of potion was extremely rare. Even if it was useless, it could be kept as a souvenir. However, looking at the ring on his hand, Lin Chen still reluctantly put the transformation potion on the sale list. There was still an uncle at home who wanted it. Keep. Lin Chen resolutely left the exclusive space and rushed to the trading square again. In the white equipment area, he spent 1,500 game coins to buy 5 flash bombs. Lin Chen was very satisfied with the effect of the flash bombs and planned to buy more. There are still 3 Molotov cocktails, but Lin Chen doesn't plan to buy them. Originally, Lin Chen bought Molotov cocktails to compensate for long-range and group attack methods, but actual combat proved to Lin Chen that Molotov cocktails were not as useful as imagined in actual combat, and could often only be used to block enemy actions in narrow places. After walking around the white area, I found that white items had basically lost their effect on Lin Chen. Even white weapons and equipment with full ratings were basically useless against monsters like Lin Chen, who had 3 extreme attributes. Moreover, Lin Chen found that the mood of pedestrians on the road was much lower than when the first game world ended. It must be that most people were beaten severely by the game world. Most people spent their first world by relying on that novice token to modify the main quests. Strictly speaking, this is most people's first game world. Looking at the stalls crowded with people in 3 circles inside and 3 outside, Lin Chen thought it was something good, but when he squeezed in, he saw that it was an ordinary white weapon with a full rating. It's all trash. Lin Chen shook his head and left the bustling white goods trading area. The people next to him didn't know what Lin Chen was thinking, otherwise they would have to come up and give Lin Chen a blank stare. Come on, this is just the end of the second game world. Mainstream players are only at level 2. They only have a measly 20 free attribute points, and the highest attribute is only about 20 points. Lin Chen came to the green quality trading area. There were a lot more people than last time, and there were more trading items. This is where elite players gather. Each stall has at least 1 green quality for sale. As for the score, you can do whatever you want. Lin Chen, who was in a good mood, visited many stalls and found that they were all of ordinary green quality, similar to the gold silk soft armor he was wearing. Lin Chen sighed. It seemed that everyone had hidden all their good things and would not take them out easily. When I arrived at the place where Lin Chen set up a stall last time, I found that no one was there. Lin Chen put all the things he wanted to sell on the shelves, and began to send the list to everyone who had left their contact information last time when he sold Fireball Technique. Those who dare to leave their contact information are basically S-level and A-level players, and Lin Chen wants to take out all their money. Morning Lights Stall. Items for sale. 1. Kabani's Heart Membrane White *4 Note. Excellent weapon strengthening material. 2. Basic Sword Skills Scroll Green *2. 3. Excellent Katana Right Green Note. Green set parts. 4. Scroll of Skill Green. 5. Transformation Potion Green. 6. Hunting Blade Green. 7. Gold Silk Soft Armor Green. Priority exchange for high-rated melee or sword skills, high-rated defensive equipment and skills, and other high-rated props. Soon, Lin Chen's private messages exploded, and a bunch of question marks bombarded Lin Chen. A man holding a long sword is facing the siege at the training ground with ease. It can be seen that he has an extraordinary temperament and a noble birth. Suddenly a private message rang, and the man opened it casually. As a direct descendant of a swordsman family, few people knew his contact information, and they were usually important people. His friend sent him a list of items. He took a casual look at it and was immediately attracted by the hunting blade and transmutation potion on it. Suddenly his neck hurt, and the training subject next to him took the opportunity to chop him to death. Stop training. The man stopped training immediately after his resurrection, and then began frantically sending private messages to his girlfriend. Quote ? Quote. Real or fake? Forget about the green weapon with a full rating, I think he still has a weapon with a full rating. What kind of magic potion is this transformation potion? With no side effects, this potion can increase attributes by 20 points. Does this kind of medicine really exist? And I see that the items Chengxi exchanged are obviously for war. Why are they sold instead of used for themselves? As a descendant of a large family, Liu Yixian has excelled in swordsmanship since he was a child. After registering as a player, he awakened his talent Bright Sword Heart and received S-level ratings twice in a row. He never thought that something would make him lose his cool. It's true. This morning, after the end of the game world for the first time, he sold Fireball technique in the exchange square. I thought he was a master, so I added his contact information. Don't you happen to be short of a weapon? I thought of you immediately, so go quickly. Who knows how many people Chen Shi has sent to the group. Good brother, thank you. Liu Yixian hurriedly hung up his friend's private message and rushed to the trading square. It seemed that he was going to be slaughtered this time. Liu Yixian smiled bitterly. After Lin Chen sent the message to the group, he sat on the ground and waited for a reply. Little did he know that his group text started to stir up quite a storm, and many experts were rushing to the trading square. Lin Chen's booth was once again surrounded by 3 circles inside and 3 outside. However, unlike the white area, the onlookers here were also called elite players. Good guy, what the hell is this transformation potion? Look at this hunting blade, it has a full green rating, I really want it. Scroll of skill, if you can just copy a green skill, you'll make a lot of money. Everyone just doesn't want to buy it, the main thing is to point fingers. These things are beyond the affordability of most players. A thin man squeezed in front of the stall and approached nervously to ask for the price. Boss, the rating of this gold soft armor is a bit low. How about 2,500 game coins? Lin Chen touched his chin and nodded in agreement. This rating of 2,500 game coins was almost enough, so he was too lazy to wait any longer. Hearing Lin Chen's agreement, the man's face lit up and he made the deal decisively. He was just an ordinary player. His armor was completely destroyed in the last game world. Others were selling it at an exaggerated price. When he heard that he wanted to buy the armor, he knew it was a real need. They all slaughtered him as a fat sheep. Lin Chen asked casually, do you have any other needs? The other props I have here are very good. No, boss, I can't afford it. The man reluctantly left Lin Chen's stall. Looks like I'm the first to arrive. Liu Yixian squeezed in from the onlookers. He rushed over as soon as he received the news. When he saw that the hunting blade was still on the stall, his face lit up. Boss, how do you sell this, and how much game currency is it? Liu Yixian pointed at the hunting blade and asked the price. Only exchanged but not sold, how can such props be sold for game currency? Lin Chen glanced at the player dressed as a swordsman and saw that he was not weak in strength. Liu Yixian smiled coquettishly. Isn't this an attempt to pick up the slack? What if he encounters a stall owner who is blind and has lost his mind? Liu Yixian glanced at the priority exchange notes on the stall, and suddenly had an idea in his mind. How about this? Lion King armor. Origin. Legend of Knights. Quality. Green. Category. Tops. Durability. 100/100s. Equipment requirements. Physical constitution is greater than 20 points. Rating. 30 green extreme rating. Equipment effect 1. Lion Heart, body armor plus 20, heart armor plus 40. Special effect. Glory of the Lion King, automatically used when the health value is lower than 30%, causing 50% of the maximum health value limit to the self note. The body constitution will be reduced when it exceeds 50 points. The cooling time is 3 natural day. Introduction. Among the 49 knights who founded the Manamu Empire, it is one of the inherited armors of the Lion King. Iron and blood forge the Lion King's glory. Liu Yixian's heart bleeds. This Lion King armor was obtained by killing a young patriarch of a knight family in the game world for the second time. At that time, I almost couldn't come back. I managed to cripple the knight's health, but with the words, "Glory of the Lion King," he was alive and well, as if nothing was wrong, and beat Liu Yixian until he vomited blood, and almost died together. Liu Yixian has experienced the power of Glory of the Lion King with his own life. If the weapon with a rating of 30 and his talent of Bright Sword Heart were not improved more than the armor, he would not have replaced his life-saving equipment in any case. Transparent heart of the sword. Clear ears and clear eyes can break illusions. The sky collapses in front of you, and no dust can be lifted. The heart of the sword is crystal clear. Sword skill power plus 100%, mental resistance plus 100%, sword skill upgrade requirements reduced by 50%, sword skill comprehension and practice speed increased by 100%. The power of a good sword is doubled in Liu Yixian's hand. This is not a simple addition, so, Hunting Blade, Liu Yixian is determined to win. If Lin Chen knew about the talent, Sword Heart Transparent, he would probably be jealous to death. His talent can only simply increase attribute values. Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Lion King Kai, the effect of Lion Heart alone is much more powerful than Golden Thread Soft Armor. As a whole, Golden Thread Soft Armor only adds 10 points to the armor, and it will only be used when facing sword damage. Add 20 points. The Lion's Heart directly adds 20 points to the whole body, and doubles the heart area, as well as the life-saving recovery skill of the Lion King's glory. What is this? This is Lin Chen's dream love. Lion King Kai. Not bad, how about 1 for 1? Boss, please add more. My Lion King Kai is absolutely worth every penny. I almost died of nausea when the boss didn't regenerate his blood. My hunting blade is the sword of the final boss in the villain camp in the game world. Not only can I fight it myself, but there are also a lot of others. I was almost swarmed and chopped into pieces. You come and go with me, quarreling with each other, and both of them are almost exhausted. You're cruel, I'll suffer a little loss, so I'll change it. Liu Yixian was so angry that he knew he would be stabbed to death. Lin Chen was naturally overjoyed. Life-saving equipment was indeed more expensive than weapons, so this was a small profit. Lin Chen happily put away the Lion King armor and rolled his eyes. It seemed that it was a big fish and he couldn't let it go. Would you like some more Kabani's heart membrane? This is the top material for strengthening weapons. It was used to strengthen my main weapon to the full rating. Lin Chen showed the panel of green rainbow sword. Liu Yixian couldn't move his legs after reading the introduction. If his current main weapon was strengthened to full rating, wouldn't he have 2 green weapons with full rating, plus the bonus of Sword Heart Transparent? He could temporarily use 2 swords. The flow is also good. The effect of your enhancement to the full score is a bit mediocre, it's just an increase in solidity. Liu Yixian tried to bargain. Guessed, the strength is enough, and it can be sharpened. The main one is simple and unpretentious. Think about it, what if the sword breaks during a battle? You have 2 swords, one for attacking and one for defending. I use Qinghong's sword to sell hunting blades, and they are very easy to use. Liu Yixian secretly cursed, it's bad, I was trapped by this force. How many game coins? It's not expensive. The friendly price is 400 game coins each, and a pack of 4 is 1,500 game coins. Why don't you go grab it? I'll sell the white material for 400 game coins. If I buy it back, I'll ask the park to strengthen it myself. Just tell me whether you want it or not. Plus the enhancement fee is up to 3,000. Isn't 3,000 game coins worth a full-rated green weapon? Want. Thank you for your patronage. Liu Yixian finally swallowed his anger. Although he was slaughtered, there were still many people who were willing to be slaughtered. How about Scroll of Skill and Potion of Transformation? Liu Yixian refused to give up. Do you want to collect game currency? Except for these 2, everything else is fine. It's okay then. Goodbye. Liu Yixian still couldn't make up his mind in the end. He had already been emptied of his fortune by Lin Chen, and he would have to give out his S-level reward if he changed again. After adding Lin Chen as his friend, Liu Yixian went back to strengthen his weapons, out of sight but out of mind. Master Chen Shi is really rich, which is an eye-opener for this little girl. Xingyu, why are you here? Lin Chen looked at the beautiful woman wearing a light blue dress. She happened to be the good person who traded divine movement with him in the last game world. She entered and exited the Kabani group 7 times and finally killed the sky bird with stealth. Mei Ma, it is impossible to do it without divine movement and blood-boiling potion. Logically speaking, Xingyu should have taken the mage route with the fireball spell, but Lin Chen mainly sold melee items this time and had nothing to do with it. It was the Chengxi crowd who called me here. This transformation potion is really incredible, but it's a pity that my strength and physique are of no use to me. Xingyu rolled her eyes at Lin Chen. This person was definitely calling people in a group, and everyone had forgotten what he had sent. Lin Chen touched his nose in embarrassment. I mainly want to buy Scroll of Skills this time. The other ones are of no use to me. How about this? Xingyu turned his palm, and a skill book appeared in his hand. Flowing water speeds up. Origin, Overlord, Quality, Green. Category, Skill book. Requirements for use. intelligence is greater than 15 points, and constitution is greater than 20 points. Rating: 28. Effect: consumes energy, temporarily speeding up the nerves and body, increasing attack speed, and accumulating a lot of fatigue in the brain. Introduction: one of the battle skills of the Kingdom Warrior Captain. After using this martial skill, the opponent will feel as if he is moving slowly in the water, while the user of the martial skill will have the illusion of moving at a normal speed, hence the name of this skill. Lin Chen looked at this flowing water acceleration, and I have to say that it touched Lin Chen's heart. Finally, he had a skill that could consume energy, and it also suited Lin Chen's taste. He could just add a buff to Lin Chen, and it wouldn't be so expensive. To achieve the effect of a wild whistle, you can just cut it with a sword. How do you want to change it? Scroll of Skill only has a chance to obtain green skills, while Flowing Water Acceleration is directly a high-quality green skill. Lin Chen is already prepared to bleed, and must get it no matter what. Just exchange one for one. If you have something good next time, just let me know first. One for one. Xingyu smiled at Lin Chen, who looked confused. Lin Chen took out Fireball technique after the first game, and the second time he took out so many high-rated items and props. She had already seen Lin Chen's amazing potential, so naturally she wanted to make a good investment before Lin Chen rises. As the saying goes, adding icing on the cake is better than giving someone timely help. Once Lin Chen became famous, making friends with him was no longer something that could be done with green skills. It was nothing more than a price difference of several thousand game coins. Xingyu believed that Lin Chen's friendship was far greater than these. Lin Chen looked at Xingyu, who was smiling coquettishly. He already knew Xingyu's thoughts. Lin Chen did not reject this kind of behavior. People are connected only when they come and go. Okay, happy cooperation. Chapter 31. Saying goodbye to Xingyu, Lin Chen continued to wait for the remaining goods to be sold. Unfortunately, people came and went, and although many people stopped to stay, the price given was far from what Lin Chen expected. Lin Chen discovered that although Exquisite Katana Right Green is a set of parts, no one has time to collect sets now, and they are basically sold in bulk. The rating of Exquisite Katana Right Green was not high, so Lin Chen had no choice but to choose one with a high price and got it for 3,000 game coins. As for the basic sword skill Scroll Green, no one even asked about the price, and it was completely treated as nothing. Finally, there is the Metamorphosis Potion at the bottom of Lin Chen's box. It can be said to be very powerful. It is more than enough to replace it with a green full-rated main weapon or other equipment at the normal market price. However, the key problem is that the second game world has just ended, and the top players only have 1 to 2 pieces of equipment with full ratings on hand, and they are basically poor. Transmutation Potion is only a consumable after all. It's not that the life-saving effect is not strong, but it is too expensive to exchange for a full-rated equipment now, which will greatly reduce your normal combat effectiveness, and it is even more impossible to exchange it with skills. Lin Chen found that his Metamorphosis Potion could not be sold. If he wanted to sell it at a high price, he would have to wait for at least 2 more game worlds. Only when the top players were about to reach level 1 would anyone buy it at a high price. After Lin Chen thought painfully, he finally took advantage and exchanged it with someone else for the Yufeng Needle Bag. Although Metamorphosis Potion is good, Lin Chen will not slow down because he wants to sell it. It is just a piece of green equipment with a full rating. After 2 game worlds, Lin Chen is confident that it will not be too helpful to him. Big. Seize the opportunity and make the decision when it's time. This is Lin Chen's rule. Yufeng Needle Bag. Origin: The Legend of Condor Heroes. Quality: green. Category: concealed weapon. Quantity: 10 out of 10. Automatically reply to 1 piece per hour. Durability: none. Jade Peak Needle Attack Power: 35 to 45. Equipment requirements: none. Rating: 29. Equipment Effect 1. Yufeng's Poison. After an ordinary person is stung by a jade bee, his whole body will immediately feel itchy and painful. Even if he cuts off an arm or a leg, a desperado may not beg for mercy at the moment of being stung. I also cry for father and mother. Introduction. Created by Lin Chaoying, the founder of the ancient Tomb sect, and passed down to Xiao Longnu. Unlike the Ice Soul Silver Needle which seals the throat upon seeing blood, the Yufeng needle is made of 60% gold and 40% stainless steel, and is coated with the poison of Yufeng, and the victim will be hit instantly. Unbearable numbness and itching, loss of fighting ability. The reason why Lin Chen chose the Jade Peak needle was because of the poison of the Jade Peak. With Lin Chen's current strength, most of the enemies he encountered that needed to be fought hard were immune to green quality poisons. Yufeng's poison is mainly used to interfere with the enemy's movements, causing people to physically deform, or it is also good for interrogating information. After everything was basically done, Lin Chen put away the stall and returned to his own exclusive space, where he began to count the harvest. The wallet balance increased to 34,500 game coins, and I gained Lion King Kai, Flowing Speed Up, and Yufeng Needle Bag. Lin Chen took out Flowing Water Acceleration and used it silently. After feeling dizzy for a while, Lin Chen shook his head, which was hit by knowledge. Tip: players gain skills, Water Flow Acceleration. Skill 2. Water Acceleration. LV1 Active Skill. Conditions of use. 10 energy per minute, automatically shuts down if the energy value is less than 10 points. Effect 1. Water flowing, attack speed increased by 10%. Effect 2. Fatigue. The brain will have a certain amount of fatigue after the end. Intelligence 50 points can be exempted. I learned a buff skill, Lion King Armor, to strengthen defense, and Jade Peak Needle Bag to supplement Lin Chen's mid-range attack methods. Generally speaking, Lin Chen was quite satisfied. The next step is to upgrade the skill level. Lin Chen came to the Skills Improvement Hall happily. Paradise, Improve Throwing Basics. Tip: the basic level of player throwing is LV6, and the upgrade cost is 600 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Tip: the basic level of player throwing is LV7, and the upgrade cost is 700 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Tip: the basic level of player throwing is LV9, and the upgrade cost is 900 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Paradise, Improve the Foundation of Boxing and Kicking. Tip: the basic level of the player's fists and kicks is LV5, and the upgrade cost is 500 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Tip: the basic level of the player's fists and kicks is LV9, and the upgrade cost is 900 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Paradise, Improve the Foundation of Meditation. Tip: the player's basic meditation level is LV5, and the upgrade cost is 500 game coins. Do you want to upgrade? Tip: the player's basic meditation level is LV9, and the upgrade cost is 900 game coins. Do you want to upgrade it? Lin Chen clicked frantically, spending 10,000 game coins regardless of the cost, and the three major specialties broke through to LV10 max. Expertise. 1. Sword Mastery. LV1 Passive. 2. Basics of Fists and Kicks. LV10 max Passive. Specialty Effect. Increase the power of fists and kicks by 10%, as well as the proficiency of fists and kicks. 3. Throwing Basis. LV10 max Passive. Specialty Effect. Increase throwing power by 10%, and proficiency with throwing weapons. 4. Meditation Basics. LV10 max Passive. Expertise Effect. Increases energy recovery speed by 10% during meditation, and has a certain chance to permanently increase intelligence. Looking at the three full-level expertise, Lin Chen comforted himself that the game currency did not disappear, it just changed a way to accompany him. It is not just a mere 10,000 game currency. Expertise and skills are the foundation for Lin Chen to enter the paradise. Tip: the player's swordsmanship proficiency level is LV1, and the upgrade cost is 1,000 game coins. Do you want to upgrade it? Yes. Tip: the player's swordsmanship proficiency level is LV2, and the upgrade cost is 2,000 game coins. Do you want to upgrade it? Goodbye, paradise, don't even think about taking a penny from my hand. Lin Chen completely broke through the defense. The cost for each level of mastery increased by 1,000 game coins. Who can afford this? No matter how much money you work hard to earn, it cannot satisfy your huge appetite for skill improvement. It is simply a bottomless pit. Expertise. 1. Sword Mastery. LV6 Passive. Specialty Effect. Increase the power of swordsmanship by 30% and the proficiency of sword weapons. Very good, I'm out of 10,000 game coins again. Lin Chen seemed to have lost the salty fish of his dream. He happily came to improve his skills, but in the end he was beaten up by the paradise with prices. He finally understood why the teacher with the strongest weapons in the entire school was only at a perfect proficiency level, and it was too expensive to upgrade his skills. Lin Chen left this gold-swallowing place and would go to the street to beg for food if he stayed any longer. 10 minutes later, Lin Chen arrived in front of a building. The door above had a huge hammer with the words, Equipment Enhancement Hall, written on it. I asterisk 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 go to mother asterisk 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 asterisk. Before entering the door, Lin Chen felt the extremely high-level words, and listened to the heart-wrenching cries. Lin Chen felt bad all over. We are all people who have experienced life and death fights in various game parks. What kind of pain can defeat these hardcore players? Although Lin Chen had never been here before, based on his previous game experience, he roughly understood that it was to pay game currency to strengthen equipment. It can't be the 8 million warriors and Kelly in the underground city. Lin Chen began to sweat on his forehead, and the memories of his past life began to attack him. Walking into the Equipment Enhancement Hall, what you see is an empty hall, thousands of square meters, where a large number of players communicate. Various enhanced machines are dotted among the crowd like stars. I'm so stupid, I should stop. Next time I will definitely give plus 7 inches. Ha ha ha, it is simply impossible to strengthen successfully. Players passing by were holding broken equipment and frantically exchanging ideas on strengthening. It was obvious that the activity was very high. Even the white item trading market with the largest number of people was not that active. It was just because they were not mentally normal. Lin Chen randomly picked a machine for teenage boys. It looked like an automatic scanning station in a supermarket, with pink hearts all over it. Tip: welcome to use the equipment strengthening machine number 10,086. Tip: it is detected that the player has no enhancement record. Tip: start explaining equipment enhancement. Strengthening equipment can increase the equipment, and the improvement effect depends on the equipment itself. +1 strengthening success rate 100%. +2 enhancement success rate 90%, no consequences for failure. +3 enhancement success rate 80%, no consequences for failure. +4 enhancement success rate 70%, failure -1 level. +5 enhancement success rate 60%, failure random level 1 to 3. +6 enhancement success rate 50%, failure random level 1 to 5. +7 enhancement success rate, failure reduces to +0, there is a certain chance that the equipment will be broken. +8 and above success rate, failure will directly break. After reading a bunch of equipment enhancement rules, Lin Chen roughly understood that the increase in equipment enhancement was mainly to increase the main ability of the equipment. For example, weapons or attack power, shields or defense power, and accessories or equipment effects. The player has 14,500 game coins remaining. Please place the equipment that needs to be strengthened. Lin Chen looked around and found that outsiders could not see the specific strengthening content. There was a protective film blocking the surrounding eyes. Only Lin Chen could see through the protection. Lin Chen thought for a while, then took out the green rainbow sword and put it into the strengthening slot. As Lin Chen's main weapon, naturally the stronger the better. Equipment testing in progress. Testing completed. Each time strengthening the equipment requires 1,000 game coins. Here comes the thing again. Why are you starting with 1,000 game coins? Lin Chen was speechless. Start strengthening. Strengthening starts. Please wait for 1 minute. Buzz buzz. The equipment strengthening machine started to operate, and a 60-second countdown appeared on the display. A burst of light flashed, and the Qinghong sword revealed its figure. Green rainbow sword +1 success. Lin Chen touched the Qinghong sword, and it felt sharper, and the sword became darker red. Green rainbow sword +1. Attack power, 21 to 43, increased by 2 to 3. The effect was good, so Lin Chen chose to continue strengthening it. Green rainbow sword +2 success. Green rainbow sword +3 success. Green rainbow sword +4 failed, down to +2. Green rainbow sword +3 success. Green rainbow sword +4 success. Green rainbow sword +5 success. Lin Chen stroked the Qinghong sword, and after strengthening it many times, the sword began to change from deep red to black. Lin Chen complained helplessly. I remember it was still bronze in color at first, but now my Qinghong sword has turned into this weird look. It's red and black, right? Green rainbow sword plus 5. Attack power, 29 to 55, increased by 8 to 12. The success rate of plus 6 is only 50%. If you continue to strengthen it, it may return to its original shape. However, Lin Chen didn't intend to stop. He still had some trump cards that he hadn't used yet. Tip: whether to use Ikoma's Guardian Stone skill. Good luck. Use. Tip: the player's luck is temporarily increased by 5 points. Strengthened green rainbow sword. Lin Chen nervously looked at the equipment strengthening machine. Although the luck value had increased, it was the first time he operated it like this, so he was inevitably nervous. Lin Chen had never felt that 1 minute was so long. Green rainbow sword plus 6 success. Lin Chen found that the prompt sound was so pleasant. Green rainbow sword plus 6. Place of origin: various worlds game park. Quality: green. Category: weapons. Durability: 100/100s. Attack power: 32 to 59, increased by 3 to 4. Equipment requirements: 5 points of strength can be used, and more than 7 points of strength can be used flexibly. Rating: 30. Green weapon extreme rating. Equipment effect 1. Cutting iron like mud. This weapon has 17%, increased by 2% armor breaking effect. Special effect: strong. The strength of the sword body is increased by 60%, increased by 10%. Introduction: the entire sword is made of fine copper and is forged by hand for more than 49 days. The sword body is engraved with the word Qinghong. It was later modified by Kabani's heart film, which greatly improved its sturdiness and sharpness. After Qinghong's sword plus 6, its lower limit of attack power basically catches up with the upper limit of attack power of other green weapons. It is almost the same as the attack power of those two-handed green weapons. You must know that Qinghong's sword is only a one-handed sword. Although he spent 8,000 game coins, Lin Chen still felt it was worth it, even though he was on the verge of bankruptcy. Ikoma's Guardian Stone, although its presence is not strong, its successful enhancement of plus 5 and plus 6 after only one failure along the way is related to its permanent lucky plus 1 and good luck effects. This greatly enhanced Lin Chen's strengthening experience. Lin Chen also wanted to strengthen the remaining equipment, but there was no game currency anymore. The budget had been exceeded, and he still needed to go to the training ground to control his body. The next target is the training ground. Tip: the transfer has been completed and the target training ground has been reached. Players are welcome to use the training ground. Please select a mode. Teaching mode, practical combat mode, free practice mode. Lin Chen thought for a while and chose the actual combat mode. He had to adapt to the changes in his body first. Paradise: start actual combat mode. Tip: at the current level, the actual combat mode is 10 game coins per minute. Whether to enable it. Tip: whether to specify the scene and enemy. Turn on random scene, random enemy. Tip: the actual combat mode is on. There will be no real death in this mode, and there will be no equipment loss. Forests began to appear around him. Lin Chen looked around and found no enemies. He showed up. Is he a robber this time? Lin Chen knocked away the arrows with a sword, and a dozen men in black clothes wearing face masks hid in the shadow of the dense forest. Flowing water speeds up, divine movements change. Carrying buffs to increase speed and getting closer to the enemy, he already likes the thrill of walking on the line between life and death. Lin Chen jumped on the top of a tree, scanning the surroundings with eyes like a hawk. I can really hide when I find you. Jumping down from the tree, stepping on the tree trunk and sprinting towards the ground, with 50 points of agility, you can already do some actions that ordinary people cannot do. This ability to sprint from top to bottom on the tree trunk, ordinary people no matter what can't do it either. Lin Chen walked through the dense forest with complex terrain, dodging arrows and trees from time to time. Lin Chen shouted happily, "This is extraordinary, this is the power I have been chasing." Soon Lin Chen caught up with the fleeing bandits and killed them one by one. An hour later, under the cycle of killing and being killed, Lin Chen quickly took control of his body. Stop training. Lin Chen hesitated and decided to try the teaching model of the World Game Park. Select teaching mode. Tip: the player has selected the teaching mode, please select the summoning mirror level. 3 options appeared in front of Lin Chen. These 3 options were low-level mirroring, intermediate mirroring, and high-level mirroring. Prices are listed below for all 3 options. According to the player's level, the entry-level image costs 100 game coins per hour, the intermediate image costs 1000 game coins per hour, and the advanced image costs 10,000 game coins per hour. Based on the thickness of his wallet, Lin Chen gritted his teeth and chose the mid-level image. Compared with equipment, Lin Chen is more willing to spend money on himself. Only his own strength is truly powerful. The city where Lin Chen was located was just a small town. The strongest teacher in the school was only level 3, and the swordsmanship teacher was only at the full level of swordsmanship. The school's teachings were not enough compared to Lin Chen's current swordsmanship level. After Lin Chen paid 1000 game coins and chose to summon the intermediate mirror image for 1 hour, a white light appeared in front of him, and the light quickly dissipated. A young man wearing a gorgeous dark cloak with his face hidden under the hood appeared in front of Lin Chen. Already summoned Sid Kagano, Shadow, because I want to become a powerful person of Shadow. Lin Chen was surprised when he saw the prompt from the World Game Park. It turned out to be him, Shadow, the protagonist of the anime world. His strength can be described as a self-propelled nuclear weapon. He was a real long Aocean-style male protagonist who could wipe out large bandits at the age of 10 after being reincarnated into another world. He also has a strong teaching ability, and he single-handedly created the harem courtyard, Shadow Courtyard. The 7 shadows under his command are not only unique in appearance, but also superior in strength. The Shadow Council teaches the 7 shadows according to their aptitude. It can be said that as a tutor, they are fully qualified. For a mere 1000 game coins, a shadow of at least level 6 can teach you, which is really generous. My name is Shadow. I am a person who lurks in the shadows and hunts the shadows. Lin Chen looked at Shadow who made the declaration, and couldn't help but feel so embarrassed that he scratched his toes. In addition to being extremely powerful, Shadow also had an advanced stage of Chunabu, which was completely hopeless. I already know your purpose. Draw your sword and let me see your level. Lin Chen didn't talk nonsense. When communicating with Chunabu, Lin Chen said he had a headache, so he directly activated his skill and slashed at the shadow with a sword. With Lin Chen's current extreme level of strength, agility, and physical strength, this sword can be said to have both speed and power, and the angle is also very tricky, striking directly at Shadow's chest and heart. What surprised Lin Chen was that Shadow just turned sideways slightly, his right hand condensed into a claw, and pointed a single finger at the weak point of Lin Chen's sword. Lin Chen's Qinghong sword completely changed its angle and moved to the side uncontrollably. Due to the force problem, his body also fell to the side. Shadow clenched his left hand, and a black sword appeared in his hand, stabbing directly towards Lin Chen's throat, who had lost strength. Oh no, it's the slime sword. Activate Eternal Oath. The cloak all over Shadow's body is made of special slime glue, which can change its shape freely according to magic power. Shadow did not pursue him. Oh, it's a very strong defense. You can use some other means. Lin Chen covered his throat with his hands and gasped for air in the distance, and the sacred light shrouded him. In one round, Lin Chen didn't catch a single move. He could feel the power of the shadow, and his speed was not faster than his own. So strong. Mental shock, revenge mark, water acceleration. Lin Chen used all his methods, and the sword light fell like raindrops. Shadow completely ignored the mental impact. What shocked Lin Chen was that all the slashes hit right in front of Shadow. Shadow mocked. Are you trying to cut off the air in front of me and suffocate me to death? When the miracle holy shield on Lin Chen disappeared, Shadow seized the opportunity when Lin Chen's old strength was gone and new strength was not born, and a slime sword pierced Lin Chen's throat again. Lin Chen resurrected in the distance and fell into deep thought. The mental shock was useless to Shadow. As expected by Lin Chen, Shadow had been pursuing excellence in the modern society without demons before his reincarnation. He had no regrets until death. This kind of will was completely unable to shake. Completely ignoring Lin Chen's attack, he killed Lin Chen with 2 swords. The Eternal Oath was just a dying struggle. Lion King armor, the Lion King's glory didn't even have a chance to be triggered. He sealed his throat with one sword and emptied his health directly. Lin Chen's eyes were bright. It was not at the same level at all. This was the power Lin Chen was pursuing. Foreign objects were completely useless in front of such a master. That's enough. Your understanding of swordsmanship can only be said to be barely passable. The only thing that stands out is that you have a good command of basic swordsmanship. Shadow himself is self-taught, so his swordsmanship is the pinnacle of basic swordsmanship and a return to nature, acknowledging the basic swordsmanship that Lin Chen has practiced for more than 10 years. Your strength and agility are good, but your skills are very poor. You can't control your power, or your attacks are not firm enough. No, I have no intention of despising the physical aspect. If I had to choose between strength and skill, I would choose strength without hesitation. Skill without strength is worthless. But, pure strength, pure speed, a simple reaction. The incomplete and distorted fighting style that leaves everything to the strength of the physical side and ignores details as if giving up is what I hate the most. For me, the person with the power of shadow that I target will never lose to others in terms of skills. I combine strength with skills, work hard on speed, and look for possibilities in reaction. Although physical strength is very important, but I will never have an ugly fight that relies entirely on it. This is my fighting aesthetic. To be honest, this kind of random waving guy is very irritating, and there is no beauty in fighting, so let me teach you the correct way to fight. Come on, attack me. Shadow wandered leisurely in Lin Chen's sword rain. Lesson 1. Use only the minimum amount of force, concentrate on your feet, and then burst into acceleration. Lin Chen's sword slashed through the air. However, it is already within my distance now. There is no need for speed, strength, or even energy at this moment. Shadow gently caressed Lin Chen's neck with the dark slime sword. But it's just a thin layer of skin, leaving a red line. Lesson 2. As long as you control the distance, speed and strength are secondary. In line with Lin Chen's action of retracting his sword, Shadow stepped forward again, this time without even using burst acceleration. Therefore, Lin Chen's speed is much faster than Shadow. However, no matter how fast it is, it cannot move while attacking. Therefore, the Shadow can press forward. Just half a step. A very subtle distance, a very close distance to Lin Chen. Shadow had already read Lin Chen's next move from his movements. For this reason, even if Lin Chen was faster, it was Shadow who made the first move. The slime sword cut off Lin Chen's right hand in a perfect arc, and the Qinghong sword fell to the floor. Lesson 3. Skills without strength are meaningless. At this moment, unlike the previous attack, Shadow's whole body exuded astonishing energy. Lin Chen's brain sensed madness and alerted Lin Chen. The powerful slash directly split Lin Chen and the Lion King armor in half. Before Lin Chen died, he suspected that even the miracle holy shield could not block this sword. If the attributes of the Shadow could be seen at this moment, Lin Chen was sure that it must have a specialty, sword master or combat master or both. Is this the male protagonist of Long Ocean animation? He is really a pervert, self-taught, and became the strongest in the world as a teenager. After being resurrected, Lin Chen looked at Shadow, who was about the same age as himself, and felt that his life for more than 10 years had been in vain. He had never experienced a battle with such a huge gap. It was not a crushing of attribute values, but a complete control of the rhythm of the battle. This was an experience that Lin Chen could not bring to Lin Chen in a life and death fight before. Shadow was not worth mentioning in terms of strength or speed, but he was completely seen through and had no power to fight back. Your foundation is very good. Few people take the time to hone basic swordsmanship. Let me show you the art of fighting. Precise and subtle distance control allows you to hit the opponent, but the opponent cannot hit you. If both sides draw their swords and can hit both sides, this is the attack distance. If the opponent draws his sword and cannot hit you at all, this is your safe distance. It makes no difference whether you run far away or are only 1 centimeter away from the tip of the sword. First of all, learn to keep your steps at a safe distance. Your steps are very subtle, but they must be coordinated with the opponent's actions to eliminate meaningless movements. If you want to grasp the distance, you must first observe the opponent's arm. The length of the arm and the length of the sword are the distance you want to grasp. Pay attention to the opponent's whole body. It is very likely that the opponent will use his sword on the surface and use his legs secretly. After hitting the opponent's body, you must immediately adjust your movements to prevent the opponent from counter-attacking or pursuing. Compress the opponent's movement direction and control the opponent's rhythm. Under the guidance of Shadow Master, Lin Chen kept dying and resurrecting. Although he still couldn't touch the corner of Shadow's clothes, he had touched another fighting realm. He felt that a door was opening towards him. His previous swordsmanship was terrible. Compared with Shadow, he was just swinging randomly. No wonder he was killed by Shadow. An hour passed quickly, and Lin Chen was immersed in his own world. The shadow mirroring time has reached the limit, do you want to renew it? Paradise came out to interrupt him again. Lin Chen waved his hand. 4 more minutes. Shadow appeared in front of Lin Chen again wearing a gorgeous cloak. It's you again, let's continue. It seems that the mirror image of the paradise can continue the memory of the last time, which is very good for Lin Chen. The crisp sound of the collision of weapons was heard, and now Lin Chen had a chance of hitting the Shadow's weapon. A life and death battle with a master like Shadow is undoubtedly a very valuable experience. If it weren't for the World Game Park, Lin Chen would never have had this opportunity in his life. Time passed quickly, and Lin Chen still had some unfinished thoughts. The time has come, see you next time. The shadow image gradually disappeared. Lin Chen wanted to summon the shadow again, but seeing that he only had 1,500 game coins remaining, he could only sigh like a poor man. That's all, sparring for too long is not good for your health or your wallet. Lin Chen felt that he had the ability to understand something, but when he opened his personal panel, there was no logo. It seems that the accumulation is still insufficient. Lin Chen took a deep breath. Invincible, who had previously improved his attributes and was able to defeat all enemies, was heartbroken. That is the sequelae of too much improvement in attributes at once. Paradise, start combat mode. Tip: the actual combat mode consumes 10 game currency points every minute, do you want to pay it? Pay, the scene is random, and the enemies are random. The strong wind blew, and Lin Chen was already on the edge of a cliff. There was no other place to stay except this square platform. Several silver-white figures climbed up from the surroundings. They were mechanical dolls, swordsmen. More than a dozen pairs of scarlet eyes locked on Lin Chen. Lin Chen laughed. We're here just in time, let's fight together. Lin Chen was surrounded by densely packed mechanical dolls, and countless weapons came from all directions. If it was Lin Chen before, he would have used divine movement to escape long ago. Observe the enemy and grasp the distance. Lin Chen did not retreat but advanced, taking advantage of the distance between the lights of several swords to shuttle back and forth. Several black sword lights flashed in the air, and a large number of mechanical dolls were directly scrapped. Lin Chen is different from before. He now has a complete grasp of his physical fitness and his fighting skills have also been improved. The dolls were shattered, the wind blew, and fights began at high altitudes. Open personal panel. Personal information is as follows. Player number: 19,820,009,527. Name: Lin Chen. Nationality: Longguo. Level: LV.6. Rank: not yet entered. Health: 100%. This attribute cannot be fully digitized. Energy value: 160/160th. Strength: 50 current level limit. Agility: 50 current level limit. Physique: 50 current level limit. Intelligence: 16. Charisma: 14. Lucky: 2. Free attribute points: 0. Talent: killing promotion. Expertise: 1. Sword mastery. LV10 passive improves sword power by 38% and sword weapon proficiency. 2. Fist and kick basics. LV10 max passive. 3. Throwing basis. LV10 max passive. 4. Meditation basics. LV10 max passive. 5. Low-level self-healing cannot be improved. Physical recovery effect is increased by 100%, and injury self-healing speed is increased by 100%. Skill: 1. Magical movement level 17. 2. Water acceleration level 3. Equipment: 1. Qinghong sword plus 6. 2. Lion King armor green. 3. Night cloak green. 4. Eternal vow green. 5. Fusion group Combinaries pain green. 6. Ikoma's guardian stone no grade. 7. Yufang needle capsule green. Lin Chen put away the panel with satisfaction. This was his capital for entering the paradise. His sword mastery had reached LV10, which had reached the bottleneck. To improve further, he would need soul fragments, small, and the price would be that Lin Chen successfully transformed. Became a pauper. No matter how many game coins you have, it's not enough. I clearly remember that I had more than 30,000 game coins when I just finished the game world. Why don't I even have 300 game coins now? Why can't I last 3 days? I still have a lot of things to buy. Lin Chen was very helpless and spent money like water. No amount of game currency could satisfy the players' desires. The players in the Zuji game park are basically the Sunlight tribe, and no one has the habit of saving money. Is it coming? I'm going to be so poor in the next game world, so I'll just kill them randomly. With Lin Chen's current strength, if he goes to Cabaneri in Iron City, he will be able to dominate everything. Lin Chen is now full of confidence. It's just an apprentice-level game world, and it's not something you can control. Tip: the next game world starts in 10 minutes, players please be prepared. Tip: the game world has been selected. Transmission starts. Tip: players are prohibited from revealing anything about the World Game Park. Tip: it is detected that the player does not master the language of this world, and 100 game coins will be automatically consumed to master the language of this world. Can't the all-powerful World Game Park optimize the teleportation experience? Lin Chen felt like being thrown into the washing machine again, and soon fell into a dizzy state. When Lin Chen regained consciousness, he was already in a world of ice and snow. The biting cold wind blew the snowflakes straight into Lin Chen's bones. Lin Chen felt like a fool when he looked at himself dressed in single clothes. Snowflakes were flying all over the sky, and heavy snow kept falling in the sky. Lin Chen felt that the temperature was at least 30 degrees below zero. Even with a constitution as high as 50 points, it is completely impossible to survive in this environment. Where is this place? Did paradise teleport me to the North Pole? Lin Chen quickly took out the cold weather clothes from the storage space. Fortunately, according to the school's teachings, Lin Chen had prepared various supplies for high temperature and extreme cold environments. After finding a tall rock as a shelter from the wind, Lin Chen began to check out the main mission. Open panel. Enter the world. Zon Crimson Eyes. World difficulty. LV1. Introduction to the world. Just as people will gradually decay, countries will one day be destroyed. Even the imperial capital, which has been prosperous for thousands of years, is now nothing more than a corrupt hell on earth, with demons and monsters in human skin running arrogantly and domineeringly everywhere. About 1,000 years ago, in order to maintain the long-term rule of the empire, the founding emperor of the empire used legendary super dangerous species as materials, plus rare metals such as ori steel and the most advanced craftsmen summoned from all over the world, including a large number of a lost secret technique. With the huge financial resources and power of the founding emperor, he developed 48 weapons that cannot be copied in modern times, and called them Taigu. Main mission. Faction choice, either to protect the empire and resurrect from the ashes, or to completely destroy the empire. Side missions. None. Period. 30 calendar days. Quote ? Quote. Lin Chen felt numb. Is this really a game world that has not yet entered the level? The world of Zon Crimson Eyes is not complicated. Probably the empire began to decay after thousands of years of existence. High taxes and dark politics made the people miserable. Various resistance forces have sprung up like mushrooms after a rain, and the strongest resistance force is called the Revolutionary Army. The growing Revolutionary Army needs a group of people to collect intelligence in the dark and carry out assassinations and other dark sides of the Revolutionary Army. This is Night Aid, Night Attack Force, commonly known as Night Attack. Night Raid is the intelligence killer organization of the Revolutionary Army, led by former Imperial General Najahedin, and composed entirely of Taigu users. The corresponding organization in the Empire is the Hunters, led by General Death. The main line of the world is the confrontation between the Empire and the Revolutionary Army, and the life and death fight between the two assassination organizations, Night Raid and Hunter. The 48 pieces of Imperial equipment each have their own characteristics, and some of them can even be teleported through space. Each Imperial equipment user has amazing strength. Lin Chen estimated that his strength is in the middle and lower reaches, and is basically a little stronger than the average Imperial equipment user. When he thinks about it, fighting with this kind of monster, Lin Chen suddenly felt physically and mentally haggard. Unlike Cabaneri in the Iron Fortress, in the early stage, although there is a character named Wu Ming who has extraordinary strength, he is basically assisted by the players. In the later stage, he can also find ways to avoid confrontation with Amada Mima. Lin Chen expressed doubts to the Paradise. Paradise, you tricked me, why did you teleport to this kind of game world with completely exceeded the standard? And the period was extended to 30 natural days. Tip. It is detected that the player's last game score was max, and the difficulty of the game world in this round is increased based on the player's comprehensive strength. Tip. You can return at any time after completing the main mission. Lin Chen smiled bitterly. I never expected that I would be the one who tricked me. Forget it, let it be as it comes. Even if it comes, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The taigu still smells good. Lin Chen guessed that it should be in the north of the empire now. Such heavy snow can only be found in the north. Lin Chen judged the north-south orientation based on the weather and prepared to head to the imperial capital where the main line took place. Lin Chen left layers of footprints on the thick snow and began to look for the village to ask for directions. It was not a problem to continue walking like this. After walking for more than an hour, Lin Chen shivered in the cold wind. Walking in the snow was really not what humans did. It's official. Lin Chen was pleasantly surprised to find a straight road appearing in front of him. It should have been built when the empire's national power was at its peak. The road network extending in all directions greatly strengthened the empire's control over the country. Lin Chen continued walking along the official road and soon found a village with smoke rising from the cooking pots. Finally, there's smoke. Lin Chen slowly approached the village. With a tweet, several spears were thrust in front of Lin Chen. Checkpoint at the village gate. Who are you? Tell me why you are here. Don't go any further. Lin Chen raised his hands. I have no ill intentions. I am an adventurer. I am currently lost in the wind and snow. I want to replenish my supplies here. I will pay the fee. Several sentries looked at each other. Wait here. Lin Chen waited patiently on the spot, and soon an old man came out with the support of the villagers. Welcome guests from afar. Under the influence of a few gold bars, the village received Lin Chen very warmly and sold certain supplies to Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen had storage space and did not need these, he still accepted them for the sake of disguise. The cold wind was biting, and in a simple house, the village chief made a cup of steaming tea and handed it to Lin Chen. Our village is poor in products and has nothing good to entertain guests, which makes people laugh. How could it be? In this weather, a sip of hot tea is enough. The village chief can just call me Chengxi. Lin Chen took a sip of tea and asked casually. When I first arrived in the Northland, I found that it was different from other places in the empire. Why was the security of the villages here so strict? The village chief lamented. It's not because of the world. There are a lot of dangerous species in the north. We can only organize our own guards to protect the village. Lin Chen said. Won't the empire protect you? What the guests don't know is that maybe a few decades ago, the empire would send troops to regularly sweep away dangerous species, but that's no longer the case now. Taxes are getting more and more every year, and the empire doesn't care about our life or death except asking us to pay taxes. If the taxes cannot be paid, the entire village will be wiped out. The village next door was surrounded and destroyed by the imperial army because the taxes could not be paid. Our village's annual income is very low after paying taxes, and we have to hunt dangerous species to make up for it. In this way, we starve to death every year. And without regular extermination by the army, dangerous species have begun to overrun the entire Northland, and hunting has become increasingly dangerous. You can get a glimpse of the empire's terrifying rule. If you can't pay taxes, you will be annihilated by the army. Lin Chen asked calmly. As far as I know, General Esteth, the strongest general in the empire, is also from the north. A smile appeared on the village chief's face. General Esteth is the pride of our northerners, the invincible and strongest general in the empire. According to the news I got not long ago, she is currently fighting 400,000 foreigners from the north in the far north fortress. Quote, I heard that the leader of the northern alien race is the prince of the northern alien race, who is called the Brave of the North. He has never been defeated while holding a gun in his hand. However, I believe that under the leadership of General Esdeath, the northern alien race is vulnerable to a single blow. Lin Chen silently wrote down the information. It seemed that the timeline was before Esdeath killed the Northland's 400,000-strong army. It's a pity that information exchange here is slow. If I had known earlier that General Esdeath was in the far north fortress, Tasmi and the others would not have had to go to the imperial capital and directly join General Esdeath's army. General Stadez's troops are the best treated and the strongest in the entire empire. Tasmi, the male protagonist of the anime. Could this be the unknown village where the protagonist in the plot was born? Lin Chen calmly continued to inquire. I happen to be planning to return to the imperial capital. I also have some property in the imperial capital. I don't know what is going on with Tasmi and others in your village. If I have the chance, I may be able to help. Lin Chen lied with all his mouth. He was a jobless vagrant with only empty property, but there was no shame in asking for information. The old village chief suddenly beamed, his weathered face was full of smiles, and his gray beard was curling up. As the saying goes, people become better with age. As the village leader, although he has not read many books, he definitely has a way to lead the village to survive under the empire's high taxes. The old village chief could tell at a glance that Lin Chen was definitely not an ordinary adventurer. Whose adventurer would spend a few gold bars just to buy a few supplies, which would almost cost him his life? Is this still a mercenary adventurer? First look at Lin Chen's exquisite clothes, and then look at the green rainbow sword that is worth 1,000 gold, and his steady and powerful pace. A person dares to walk alone in the Northland where dangerous species are overflowing, even after getting lost in the wind and snow where everyone is in disgrace. Even his clothes were not damaged, which all shows that Lin Chen is a top swordsman. This kind of person is either a big businessman or a noble. Looking at Lin Chen's temperament, he must be an aristocratic swordsman who travels alone. Even Lin Chen didn't know that the reason why the village chief entertained him so warmly was not just because of a few gold bars, but because Lin Chen had the ability to massacre the entire village. The old village chief saw that Lin Chen, who could force them to confess by force but was willing to spend money and time to communicate with country people like them, must be a rare and friendly noble. Originally, Tasmi and others were going to explore the unfamiliar imperial capital. Everyone in the village was very worried, and the old village chief was no exception. Now it's better, people are sitting at home, and their connections come from heaven. Suddenly I received Lin Chen, a very friendly noble swordsman, and got involved because of Feng Shui lost. Now this nobleman also inquired about the situation of Tasmi and others. This kind of nobleman would be beyond the reach of ordinary people in a lifetime. Class is like a dream. Lin Chen, who had ulterior motives, never expected that his disguise would be revealed in one face-to-face, and he would be put on the hat of an aristocratic swordsman who went out for training. He was still too young, and of course it had something to do with Lin Chen's failure to disguise himself. Naturally, the cunning village chief would not be stupid enough to expose Lin Chen's disguise. Tasmi, Seu, and Ease are the three most outstanding young people in the history of our village. Regardless of their young age, they can basically defeat some dangerous species such as earth dragons alone. Tasmi is good at swordsmanship and is the strongest among the three. She is also good at forging. Even the retired sergeant in our village praised Tasmi's talent as the strongest he has ever seen. Sheo is the only woman among the three. Not only is she young and beautiful, but she is also particularly good at archery. She can basically hit every target she sees. Ease is also good at swordsmanship. He is a hot-blooded fool. Although his swordsmanship is not as good as Tasmi's, he is still at an outstanding level. The three of them have worked hard to become outstanding soldiers since they were young. They competed with each other and taught themselves various skills such as cooking, reconnaissance, and teamwork. They can survive in even the simplest environment. Besides, when the old village chief mentioned the young people in these three villages, he couldn't stop talking. Judging from the old village chief's proud expression, these three people were his pride. If it weren't for the fact that the village couldn't survive, he wouldn't be able to stop talking. They would be willing to let them go to the imperial capital where they were unfamiliar with their lives. Lin Chen sighed in his heart. As soon as the village chief's sweethearts Seu and Ease arrived in the imperial capital, they were deceived by nobles who specifically targeted country people, drugged and caught, and then imprisoned and played with as toys. Seu was eventually brutally tortured to death, while Ease was injected with a large amount of drugs and eventually died of terminal Alzheimer's disease. Two young boys and girls who were full of energy and dreamed of being successful in saving their impoverished hometown could not survive even 2 days in the land of their dreams, the imperial capital. If Tasmi hadn't been separated from the two of them due to the bandit attack, and delayed arriving in the imperial capital for a day. Although she was coaxed by the nobles, she was drugged before she could be drugged, and was saved by a night attack the next night when the target was cleared. Otherwise, the whole army will be annihilated. Lin Chen didn't know the strength of the other two people. They were already corpses when the plot started. But Tasmi is still very strong. When he joined the night attack, his first task was to kill Oka, the capital's security captain, and then escape unscathed. Oka. He is very skilled in swordsmanship, and many people are afraid of him. He is also known as the Oka of Ghosts. Before he obtained the Imperial Equipment Demon Haunting, he fought against the Imperial Equipment Niu, one of the 3 beast warriors under General Esdeath, who had the Imperial Equipment Military Dream and was undefeated for a short period of time. There are 2 levels of people with or without Taigu. Although the main function of Military Music Dream is to control the field in a large area, this also shows that Tasmi's strength is amazing. Lin Chen interrupted the old village chief who was chattering away. It seems that the 3 young people in your village have outstanding abilities. I believe they will definitely make a mark in the imperial capital. The interrupted village chief was still unfinished, fearing that Tasmi and others would miss Lin Chen, a noble person. I wonder when they set off. It's been 6 days. Counting the time, we should be able to reach the imperial capital tonight. Please also ask Mr. Chen Shi to take care of the 3 of them in the imperial capital. Before he finished speaking, a reminder popped out of Lin Chen's eyes. Tip. You have triggered a side mission, taking care of the outstanding young people in the village. Mission Introduction. After being lost in the snowstorm, you received a warm welcome from the village. The old village chief asked you to take good care of the 3 young people who went to the imperial capital. Mission Goal. Meet up with Tasmi, Seu, and Ease. Mission Reward. None. Lin Chen's first side mission just appeared. Randomly finding a reason to say goodbye to the old village chief, Lin Chen found a room to rest. Lin Chen silently analyzed the existing information. In the conversation just now, Lin Chen obtained 2 key pieces of information. 1. General Esdeath is in the far north fortress. Players can choose to join the Imperial Army. There are many opportunities to make meritorious deeds on the battlefield, and soon Esdeath will kill 400,000 aliens and return in triumph. This should correspond to the main mission, to protect the Empire from the ashes. Compared with the corrupt Imperial capital, making military achievements and being valued by Esdeath is the easiest way to climb up. Change the Empire from within, or directly bring it with you. It is a good idea to jump from the army to the Revolutionary Army. 2. The protagonist and his party have not yet arrived in the Imperial capital. This side mission should correspond to the Revolutionary Army night raid. Players can join the night raid through Tasmi's relationship. It depends on the player's choice, whether to join the 3 people or join the only Imperial Army that can take the lead. Lin Chen's main mission naturally would not choose to protect the Empire from ashes. It was too difficult and impossible to complete. Not only did he have to fight against the Revolutionary Army and night raids, he also had to control the Emperor's Minister Ernest and the 2 empires inside. The strongest generals, Empire Double Wall, Generals Esdeath and Bude. And this is the rule of the Empire. The people's support has been lost long ago, and no one can stop it. Lin Chen is not so stubborn as to be the enemy of the whole world. As for the side mission of the Paradise, it will definitely trick the players. According to the village chief, Seu and Ease will be able to arrive in the Imperial capital tonight, and only the corpses will be left the next day. Unless the player rushes to the Imperial capital immediately and finds Seu and Ease in the huge Imperial capital, the mission will directly fail. The main purpose of this non-reward side mission is for the player to find Tasmi to join the night attack. What a shame. How do ordinary players know that they sent it tonight? Paradise is so shameless. After spending a few minutes to figure out the context, Lin Chen decisively stood up and said goodbye to the village chief. The old village chief looked surprised. is it because the reception was not good enough? Moreover, the wind and snow are blowing now, and it is very dangerous to travel. It's not because of this side mission. Not to mention it's snowing. Even if it rains knives from the sky, I have to rush to the imperial capital tonight to save your sweetheart. Lin Chen is helpless. No need, your village's hospitality is very warm, which impressed me deeply. But just now I heard the village chief mention the imperial capital, and suddenly I remembered that I haven't been home for a long time. It's just a snowstorm, it's nothing to me. Thank you to the village chief for giving me the map. This is a little thought from me. When I get to the imperial capital, I will definitely visit the outstanding young man, the village chief said. Lin Chen once again took out a few gold bars and gave them to the village chief. These gold bars were worthless to a player like Lin Chen. A few hundred game coins could buy a lot. After obtaining the valuable information from the village chief, although it may be just an ordinary chat to the village chief, Lin Chen will still repay as much as he can. This is Lin Chen's principle. These few gold bars can help the village survive this cold winter. The village elder burst into tears. With this money, no one would starve to death this winter. Boom, boom, boom. A loud siren rang throughout the village. Village chief, no luck, the frost wolves are here again. A sentry on duty at the door quickly rushed to the village chief. These beasts have become more and more dishonest since Tasmi and the three left. The village chief explained to Lin Chen, originally, our village was guarded by Tasmi and others. These frost wolves would occasionally stay for a while and then leave. Now these beasts cannot sense the breath of Tasmi and others, so they stay as time goes by. They are testing us. If this continues, they are likely to attack our village within half a month. When the frost wolves leave this time, we will hire someone to deal with these dangerous species. Mr. Chen Shi, it seems that you can't leave for the time being, but don't worry, the frost wolves will not attack the village right away. The old village chief had a frown on his face. He still had a sum of money in his hand, which was most of the savings of the three young men from hunting dangerous species for many years. They left this money when they left their hometown in order to protect the village at the critical moment of life and death. Haha, don't worry, I haven't seen any frost wolves yet. Lin Chen comforted the village chief and walked up the wooden wall of the village. He had never seen the fighting power of dangerous species in this world. Mr. Chen Shi didn't know anything when he first arrived in the north. Frost wolves are the most dangerous group in the north. A group of frost wolves will definitely die if they are encountered in the wild. They are natural hunters. Lin Chen silently took out his binoculars and observed. Its whole body is as white as snow, without a trace of color, and its blue pupils show its extraordinary status. Its height reaches the chest of a normal person, much larger than an ordinary tiger or lion. Frost wolf. HP, 100%. Energy, 200/200. Strength, 31. Agility, 53. Constitution, 45. Intelligence, 20. Charisma, 6. Skill 1. Frostwolf bloodline. Frostwolves are the top hunters in the north. In cold weather, their agility is +15 and their ice resistance is +100%. Skill 2. Ice cone. Frostwolf can easily manipulate ice energy. Skill 3. Level 1 dangerous species, Constitution +10, recovery ability moderately improved. Skill 4. Group action. When the frost wolves are combined into a pack of frost wolves, it means that they can dominate the north. Morale will never be low, and pain and charm resistance will be greatly increased. Lin Chen was silent. No wonder the protagonist did not exterminate the frost wolves. He went out to confront the frost wolves head-on, and the risks were high but the rewards were small. Looking at the sneaky probing of a dozen frost wolves outside the wooden wall, Lin Chen would not have gone out without the max level evaluation. But now, the situation has reversed, and it's you who deserve to die. Lin Chen let out a long roar and jumped off the wooden wall under the shocked and puzzled eyes of everyone. The frost wolves were overjoyed that a single human dared to rush over and attack them. They had never seen such a reckless prey in the Northland for many years. The Wolf King let out a long roar, and a dozen frost wolves collectively condensed ice picks in their mouths. This was the trump card of the frost wolves. This attack could avoid injuries caused by close combat with the prey. The water speeds up. Although the speed of the ice pick is very fast in the eyes of ordinary people, it is clearly visible in Lin Chen's eyes. Lin Chen stepped lightly and passed through the steady rain of icicles, splitting the unavoidable icicles with a sword. If it's shadows, I can definitely avoid them all. I don't know when I can reach that state. Everyone on the wooden wall was shocked. It's so strong. If it were us, we would have died a long time ago. Even Tasmi can't avoid all the ice picks. The old village chief looked at Lin Chen, who was rushing directly towards the frost wolves, and suddenly remembered that he had not explained the information yet, and shouted loudly, "Oh no, Mr. Chen Shi, the frost wolves are best at close combat, and the ice cone is just an auxiliary." The old village chief walked back and forth restlessly. Why is Mr. Chen Shi so reckless? It took a lot of effort to wait for a noble person, but is it over before it even begins? Even the most outstanding hunting team in the north, which the old village chief originally planned to hire at a huge expense, would still need to set traps to hunt the frost wolves. The head-to-head confrontation has no other result than delivering food to the frost wolves, not to mention that Lin Chen is alone. The north wind was howling and the snow was flying. The frost wolves looked at Lin Chen, who was unharmed and couldn't help but become more vigilant. There were many who were able to withstand the blows of the icicle rain, but none escaped unscathed. This prey had some abilities. But as the frost wolves are the top hunters in the north, they have eaten a lot of humans, and the pride of the frost wolves does not allow them to back down. That is to say, the frost wolves do not have a book inheritance, otherwise their predecessors would definitely tell them that the human army also has a terrible person named Taigu user. Unfortunately, human armies and Taigu users have not hunted dangerous species on a large scale in the north for decades. When Lin Chen was far away from the wooden wall, the frost wolves began to surround Lin Chen. This distance was the farthest they had ever tested. If they approached further, arrows would be fired at them, referring to Sha Yu. They don't make easy targets under wooden walls. Lin Chen was not nervous at all about the situation of being surrounded. If they can't even defeat the frost wolves, why should they fight against the imperial arms? Each of these imperial arms came from the mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Years of killing have given them an indestructible heart. The iron rule of Taigu: if there is a fight between Taigu owners, one of them will die. Because the Taigu's lethality is too powerful, those who survived in this situation have experienced countless Shira fields. Silently waiting for the frost wolves to complete the siege, Lin Chen was already trapped in the hunting net with no way to escape. It was absolutely impossible to compete with the frost wolves in agility. There is indeed no way to escape from the hunting net, but what if the net captures not prey but a prehistoric giant shark? The old village chief looked sad. Lin Chen had a very good impression on him. There had never been such a kind nobleman. It's over, it's over. Why was Mr. Chen Shi so careless and surrounded by a pack of frost wolves? At the Wolf King's signal, the two frost wolves launched tentative attacks at Lin Chen one after another. Lin Chen suddenly thought, perhaps it is the former wolf in ancient Chinese literature who pretends to be asleep to lure the enemy. You want to backstab me? How could I, a little expert in backstabbing, fall for such a trick? Lin Chen seemed to have eyes on his back, and he calmly dodged the frost wolf that attacked from behind. The sword light in his hand flashed across the sky. A sword seals the throat. Hint: you killed the frost wolf. Tip: you got the treasure chest green. Your talent, killing promotion, is activated, and you gain 1 permanent free attribute point. The first one exploded. It seems like you are lucky today. The death of the frost wolf completely angered the frost wolves. They had not seen casualties for a long time, unless they couldn't think of challenging the special dangerous species and super dangerous species in the north. Several frost wolves started attacking Lin Chen from the front, back, left and right at the same time. This was the ability of the frost wolves to hunt powerful enemies. No matter which side they blocked, other places would be attacked. The frost wolf king was looking for opportunities all around. I have to say, the frost wolf is really good looking. I really want to raise one. Although there were frost wolves attacking everywhere, Lin Chen felt calmer and calmer. Besiege me, first you must be able to block my sword. Lin Chen did not wait where he was. He struck the head of a frost wolf that besieged him with his sword. The frost wolf bit down the green rainbow sword that was coming towards it. It had bitten many human weapons before, and it shattered at the first touch. It was incomparable with its sharp teeth. As long as I crush this human's weapon in one bite, my companions can take the opportunity to attack him. This human will definitely die. I will eat the big head later. Like a hot knife cutting through butter, the green rainbow sword easily sliced through the frost wolf's mouth, directly cutting off the upper half of its head. The sharp and strong teeth were cut open like paper. Lin Chen looked at the miserably dead frost wolf strangely. Do you know the gold content of the green full-rated weapon, Qinghong's sword +6? The biggest feature of Qinghong's sword is that it is sharp and strong. After Lin Chen's many reinforcements, although it can't be said to be the end of all things, it is definitely not something that the teeth of a mere frost wolf can touch porcelain. Suddenly Lin Chen's perception was in crisis. Underground, is it an earth dragon? There was no time to think about why there was an attack coming from underground. Lin Chen jumped high forward. An ice cone as high as 3 meters rose from the ground. Frost Wolf King. HP, 100%. Energy, 300/300. Strength, 36. Agility, 60. Constitution, 55. Intelligence, 30. Charisma, 6. Skill 1. Frostwolf Bloodline. Frostwolves are the top hunters in the north. In cold weather, their agility is +15 and their ice resistance is +100%. Skill 2. Ice Cone. Frostwolf can generally manipulate ice energy. Skill 3. Level 1 Dangerous Species, Constitution +10, Recovery ability moderately improved. Skill 4. Group Action. When the Frost Wolves are combined into a pack of Frost Wolves, it means that they can dominate the north. Morale will never be low, and pain and charm resistance will be greatly increased. Skill 5. Wolf King. When the Frost Wolf King controls his subordinates, the power of the group will give the Wolf King blessing, and all attributes will be improved to varying degrees. This is the capital of the Frost Wolf King to become a king. Its natural spiritual power is higher than that of its kind, which makes it more cunning. It can release the ice pick from the ground instead. All prey who have seen this move will definitely die. Coupled with the increase given to it after commanding a wolf pack, it is far more difficult to deal with than ordinary frost wolves. It turns out that the general operating energy is this. Lin Chen was shocked. If he hadn't reached the basic level of meditation, he would have been hit. Although he wouldn't die, he would definitely be injured. Sure enough, you can't underestimate any life form. Although Lin Chen looked down upon the frost wolves, he was serious about fighting. To despise his opponents would be irresponsible for his own life. In this icy and snowy environment, ice energy can be said to be everywhere, and ice cones are mixed in the snow. Even Lin Chen's full-level meditation plus his own vigilance can't react at all. After escaping the Frost Wolf King's killing move, Lin Chen was already prepared for this kind of ice cone. Later, the Wolf King's killing move was easily dodged. Lin Chen was able to navigate the wolf pack with ease. The Frost Wolf was proud of its minions and the fur defense has no sense of existence in front of the Qinghong sword. Facing the siege, Lin Chen was not in a hurry. He just had to cut straight in one direction. As long as he finished cutting in one direction, there would be no siege. In front of Lin Chen's honed skills and weapons made with high amounts of money, the beast's hunting skills and body seemed extremely ridiculous. If you block it with your claws, the claws will be cut off. If you bite with your mouth, the head will be chopped off. Hint: you killed the Frostwolf. Hint: you killed the Frostwolf. Your talent, Killing Promotion, is activated, and you gain 1 permanent free attribute point *9. Soon, the white snow was covered with the corpses of frost wolves. In just a few minutes, most of the dangerous species across the north were killed and injured here. When the Frost Wolf King reacted, only him and 2 guards were left in the entire wolf pack. Run! Run away! This human being is too strong. The Wolf King roared and called for his guards to run away immediately. The death of the wolves greatly reduced the blessings it received, but it was still very confident in its own speed. The reason why I don't kill you is because I'm afraid that after you die, the wolves will escape. I can't stop the entire wolf pack, but a few will be fine. You know, my basic throwing skills are at full level. Lin Chen turned his hand, and several jade bee needles appeared in Lin Chen's hand, and he waved his arm. The Frost Wolf King and his guards who were still running suddenly fell down, and the huge itching caused their movements to change shape. Even if they stood up with strong perseverance and thirst for life and continued to run away, their speed would also slow down a lot. You must know that Lin Chen's agility also has 50 points, and the acceleration of divine movement. Lin Chen soon caught up with the Wolf King. 10 jade bee needles are enough for you to eat a pot, and you can still run away. Be careful in the next life. Lin Chen cut off the heads of the Wolf King and the 2 guards with one sword. In order to test the effect, he personally tasted the effect of a jade bee needle. He could only say that the effect was very good, so don't try it next time. Hint: you killed the Frost Wolf King. Tip: you got the treasure chest green. Lin Chen killed the entire group of frost wolves and not only obtained 2 treasure chests green but also fully stacked the talent killing promotion. He randomly found a few trees to avoid, and casually added 10 free attribute points to his intelligence, raising his intelligence to 26 points. After all, Lin Chen was not a player who relied on charm. Different from the usual points added, the main changes in the points added this time are concentrated on the brain. After a period of intermittent warmth, Lin Chen felt refreshed, and his 26-point intelligence increased by more than half compared to the original level. This greatly improved Lin Chen's perception, and even the brain damage caused by using the skill water acceleration fatigue has also fully recovered. Open both treasure chests. Hint: you opened the treasure chest green. Tip: you have obtained sharp wolf teeth green. Tip: you got 1000 game coins. Hint: you opened the treasure chest green. Tip: you have obtained the ice cone scroll green. Tip: you got 1500 game coins. Sharp wolf teeth. Place of origin: cut crimson eyes. Quality: green. Category: material. Rating: 19. Effect: the top hunter in the north, the sharpest fang of the first level dangerous frost wolf. Scroll of ice cone technique. Place of origin: cut crimson eyes. Quality: green. Category: consumables. Number of uses: 3/3. Requirements for use: intelligence 10 points or above. Rating: 26. Effect: generates an ice cone. The damage effect is 30 plus user's intelligence 3 intelligence. The maximum limit is 50 points of intelligence. Introduction: the special move of the Frost Wolf King of the North. The useless wolf fangs can be sold for money or eaten by Eternal Oath Male. The 2,500 game coins are quite satisfactory. However, the ice cone scroll gave Lin Chen a surprise, and it actually revealed the Frost Wolf King's unique skill. Unfortunately, it was not a skill book for ice cone technique. Lin Chen was a little greedy. He still remembered that he had replaced the previous book of fireball technique with divine movement. This kind of scroll has high basic damage and is very popular among melee players. After all, the mage is very strong in the early stage. A fireball from others is fast and accurate, and the damage is still high. Before there were long-range skills such as sword energy, melee players could only swing their swords hard. Of course, the scroll is a temporary pleasure, the wallet is crematorium, and the price is naturally not beautiful. Tip: players gain expertise, low-level perception. Open personal panel. Expertise: 6. Low-level perception. Slightly enhances perception ability. Lin Chen was pleasantly surprised. This is something that after reaching the basic level of meditation and reaching a certain level of intelligence, there is a certain chance of understanding it. Maybe someone like Lin Chen, who understood quickly, might have a black face to the first level. Perception is one of the most important attributes for a melee player. After putting away the treasure chest and harvesting the harvest, Lin Chen dragged the body of the Frost Wolf King back to the village. Why is there no sound? Mr. Chen Shi couldn't have been bitten to death by a frost wolf, right? Everyone on the wooden wall was talking a lot, not expecting Lin Chen to come back alive. Look, what is that? Everyone was startled and looked into the distance, only to see a figure dragging something towards them. The experienced old village chief recognized the creature Lin Chen dragged at a glance. That's the Frost Wolf King. Unconsciously, he began to use honorifics. The body of the Frost Wolf King appears in the hands of Master Chen Shi, so wouldn't the Frost Wolves? Yes, I have killed the entire group of Frost Wolves. Their bodies are not far away and will be sent to you. Then, it's fate to see you again. Lin Chen threw the Frost Wolf King's corpse on the ground and turned away without looking back. These corpses were worthless to Lin Chen. Everyone watched Lin Chen go away in awe, and soon they came to the scene of the battle between Lin Chen and the Frost Wolves. Looking at the corpses everywhere, the white earth was stained red with blood. The old village chief sighed. It's really incredible strength. It can kill all the Frost Wolves in less than 10 minutes. Okay, boys, be quick with your hands and feet. Blood will attract dangerous species. Move all these corpses back quickly. Don't be careless. Frost wolves are full of treasures. Their meat is a great source of nourishment, and their fur is the top material to keep out the cold. Thank you, Lord Chengxi, for your gift. Our village is so lucky to meet Lord Chengxi. Lin Chen didn't care about these and came to a place far away from the village. According to the strength of Tasmi and others, assuming that the walking speed is 10 kilometers per hour and walking for 10 hours a day, a full 600 kilometers will be covered in 6 days. Even with 50 points of physical fitness and agility, Lin Chen would not be able to reach the imperial capital tonight. But Lin Chen was already prepared. Come out, my mount. Phoenix Mountain Bike. Place of origin. Various worlds game park. Quality. White. Category. Vehicle. Requirements for use. Strength 5 or above. Rating. 6. Effect. Shock absorption, with excellent shock absorption system. Introduction. Phoenix brand bicycle, you deserve to own it, the speed is as fast as you are strong. Lin Chen bought this at the trading market. A certain player finally got a skill, but ended up making a bicycle, and his mentality exploded. Based on the principle of checking for leaks and filling gaps without a vehicle, Lin Chen bought it at a cheap price. Lin Chen looked at the fiery red car body and nodded with satisfaction. Turning over on the bike, with Lin Chen's current physique and strength, Lin Chen could ride at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour for a whole day. Thanks to the official channels, otherwise bicycles would be completely useless products. Speechless, how could there be an idiot who goes out for a drive in the cold weather and heavy snow? It's me. That's okay. 12 hours later, Lin Chen stood in the distance looking at the imperial capital. If I ride a bicycle again in this life, I will be like a dog. Lin Chen took back his bicycle and cotton-padded clothes in advance. This bicycle could not be seen by others, otherwise the corrupt forces in the imperial capital would keep causing trouble for Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen was not afraid of this, he did not want to be exposed so soon. Under the night, stars dotted the sky. The 1,000-year-old imperial capital has an impenetrable city wall, which is completely different from the wooden walls of the village. Under the continuous construction of successive emperors, the 40-meter-high city wall is enough to stop any enemy. In order to maintain the long-term rule of the empire, the founding emperor of the empire collected rare treasures from all over the world, gathered all the power of the empire to make 48 imperial tools, and directly silenced all parties involved in order to keep it secret. In the emperor's imagination at that time, the subsequent emperor was considered a mediocre person, or even a waste who only knew how to eat, drink and have fun. As long as the Taigu is not lost, the empire will not be destroyed no matter what. Even in the worst-case scenario, the first emperor left his final trump card. The entire city of the imperial capital is in the shape of a staircase, with the higher the center, the higher it is. In the center is the royal palace, which can be called the city within the city of the imperial capital. The entire palace is in the shape of a standard circle, with layers of spires rising upwards. The highest point is even hundreds of meters high. Even if Lin Chen stood outside the city, he could still see the towering palace. Taigu Protector Machine God Supreme Throne, the first and strongest Taigu. It is the origin of Taigu and the culmination of all Taigu. It is called the Supreme Taigu. According to legend, it has abilities comparable to those of gods, and can only be used by those with the blood of the emperor. The greatest secret of the empire is hidden in the palace that is hundreds of meters away. Usually half of it is underground and half of it is in the palace. It will only appear when the emperor calls it. In the 1,000-year history of the empire, the guardian god of machinery and the supreme throne has never been used. At the end of the plot, the little emperor used Defender Machine God Supreme Throne to fight to the death, but for the protagonist Tasmi's imperial weapon Evil Haunted that had super evolved. The imperial capital of millions of people will become history. No matter how perfect the plan is, there is nothing you can do when you encounter a super brainless prodigal son. Lin Chen started lining up to enter the city. After being repeatedly checked against the wanted order by the soldiers, he successfully entered the city. Lin Chen noticed that the streets and alleys were full of wanted posters for night raid. It seemed that the entire imperial capital's dignitaries were offended by the night attack, and they were assassinated at every turn. Who could stand this? It's nothing more than killing a bunch of untouchables. The untouchables were born to be our cattle and horses. Pedestrians on the road are all dressed in luxurious clothes. At least for now, the imperial capital still maintains its superficial prosperity. The little emperor thinks that under his rule, flowers are blooming and the empire is flourishing. In Lin Chen's perception, although many pedestrians were well dressed, their vitality was weak, which should be caused by long-term labor or malnutrition. If they were dressed in rags, they would be sent to the ghetto. Lin Chen didn't have time to appreciate the bustling night view of the empire. He wanted to find Seu and ease as soon as possible. Come to the bustling tavern, this is the fastest place to learn information. Lin Chen casually pulled over a bartender. Hey, let me ask you a question. As long as your answer satisfies me, this will be yours. Lin Chen tossed the gold in his hand, and the bartender's eyes widened, completely blinded by the gold. Please ask me, guest. I will definitely tell you everything I know. Do you know where the noble lady Arya lives? The bartender asked. Are you talking about the warm-hearted and kind-hearted Miss Arya who often brings homeless foreigners home? Yes, tell me the address. Miss Arya usually lives in a huge manor in the east of the city. When you go out and turn right, you can reach the manor. Very well, this belongs to you. Lin Chen left the tavern in a hurry. The bartender squeezed the gold in his hand and said, the person who attacked at night? Probably not, it has nothing to do with me anyway. The warm-hearted and kind-hearted Miss Arya often brings homeless strangers home, but for so many years as a bartender, she has never heard of the news that the strangers who were taken away reappeared. The consequences of the strangers are self-evident. Although he noticed something was wrong with Lin Chen, he would not report it. As a low-level person in the imperial capital, he also hated the nobles who regarded them as pigs and dogs. This is why wanted notices for night raids are all over the streets, but have no effect. Night raids can even accept people's commissions to assassinate corrupt nobles. Lin Chen avoided pedestrians and quietly came to the vicinity of the manor. What a luxury! This is a nobleman who has inherited wealth accumulated over hundreds of years. There are thousands of slaves in the entire manor, and hundreds of elite guards patrolling back and forth. No wonder at the beginning of the plot, a total of 6 Taigu users were dispatched for the night attack. It can be said that all of them except the boss Najiexiden were dispatched. Lin Chen shrank his head and tightened his cloak. If this was discovered and caused a siege, Lin Chen wouldn't even be able to get out. Not to mention finding 2 people and escaping unscathed. Passing through the heavily guarded guards one after another, the owners of this manor, Arya's family, naturally knew who they were. In order to prevent being targeted by night raids, a high-security guard team was established at great expense. Then the guards were still crazy and brought back foreigners to torture them. They just liked to torture the people at the bottom, and the pleasure of seeing their own kind being tortured to death was fascinating. According to her memory, Arya would lock the drugged strangers in a small house at the end of the manor, with only trees and no guards around for dozens of meters. Lin Chen quickly found the small house. There were no guards in front of the house. Lin Chen breathed a sigh of relief. It was best not to have to meet Arya's family. Opening the door quietly, even a player like Lin Chen who has experienced many killings will feel nauseated. The whole house was densely packed with scraps, and 5 or 6 mummies were hung on the cross next to it. The cage on the ground was full of people, and they were all dead. Lin Chen could imagine that Arya kept luring strangers home, drugging them to make them unconscious and then throwing them into a cage full of processed corpses, filling them with fear. Finally, let the foreigners become part of the group of mummies in the cage, and then welcome the next batch of foreigners. How crazy! These beasts are worse than pigs and dogs. Lin Chen passed by the corpses that were still struggling until death. There was a young girl hanging from the nearest chain. Her eyes were closed tightly, and only the slight sound of breathing proved that she was still alive. On her head was a snow-capped mountain flower that symbolized purity, and her white and tender body was covered with wounds of all sizes, which was shocking. Weapons, scratches, and bruises were all over his body. It was hard to imagine what kind of torture he had suffered. This is Seo. Seo, seriously injured. HP, 11%. Energy, 300/300. Strength, 36. Agility, 51. Physique, 48. Intelligence, 30. Charisma, 9. Skill 1. Archery proficiency, arrow power and speed increased by 30%. Skill 2. Hunting hard, can mark prey and have nowhere to escape. Skill 3. 100 hits, the accuracy of bows and arrows is greatly improved. Skill 4. Rapid fire, reduces accuracy by 20% and increases rate of fire by 50%. Skill 5. Charging arrows, the arrows are drawn but not fired, and their power increases as time goes by. Skill 6. Poetry of the wind, walking on the wind, increasing movement speed by 30%. This is the talent of the companion of the protagonist who originally died, even if it is not much worse than Tasmi. Lin Chen stepped forward and cut off the chains with his sword, hugged the fallen body with both hands, and took out a cloth from the storage space to cover the bruised Sha Yu. Well, Sha Yu opened her eyes in surprise. She was not asleep at all. The severe pain in her body and the situation of her hands being hung made her unable to sleep at all. Every time she opens her eyes and sees this dark, dead place, her heart will be filled with despair. Who can save her? Is it possible? As a foreigner, she has no relatives in the entire imperial capital, but Arya and her family are the upper-class nobles of the imperial capital, with all their wealth and connections. Before being drugged, she also saw hundreds of elite guards, and it was hard to escape. Sha Yu actually heard Lin Chen's footsteps when Lin Chen entered the door. As an excellent archer, her perception was astonishing. It's just that she thought it was another person who came to torture her. Jingjing, I'm here to save you. You are Sha Yu, right? Where are your companions? Sha Yu looked at the handsome young man in front of her, confused. Who is he? How does he know my name? Why did he come to save me? But she reacted quickly. Yeyes is in the third cage on the right. Lin Chen held Sha Yu in his left hand and came to the right. Lin Chen cut open the iron cage and pushed Yeyes lying on the ground. Found it. Yeyes, wake up. Sheo whispered. He can't wake up. Yeyes has been beaten unconscious 3 times. Lin Chen's mouth twitched. Are you so cruel, poor Yeyes? Then you can only block your mouth first to avoid waking up suddenly. Sorry, how can we take the 2 seriously injured people out? With the night cloak and divine movement, Lin Chen could sneak in without being patrolled by the guards, but it was absolutely impossible to bring 2 more living people with him. After all, the standard for this guard net is to resist night attacks. There was no way to escape. In the end, Lin Chen found a spare granary inside the manor that stored a large amount of supplies to accommodate the 2 of them. Then Lin Chen came to the outer wall of the manor and threw Sha Yu's snow-capped flower hair ornament outside the wall, pretending to have escaped. Looking at the dying Seo and the unconscious Yeyes lying on the ground. Treatment must be carried out immediately, but Lin Chen has no treatment skills at all. Lin Chen tried to feed Sheo a small bottle of life potion, which would be effective even if she was not a player. Do you feel better? Sheo said. It's amazing. I feel much better. I can feel that my wounds are healing. Then drink another bottle. Lin Chen gave Sheo and the unconscious Yeyes another bottle each. He only has 2 bottles left, and he will use them for himself next. Hey, recovery products and healing skills must be solved after the game is over. It's not that Lin Chen doesn't want to buy better recovery products, but that no one sells them at all. The most popular recovery products in the market are small life potions. Without logistics, it's really hard for players. Well, can you tell me why you came to save us? Sha Yu's question brought Lin Chen's thoughts back. Lin Chen looked at the black-haired girl sitting quietly on the ground, staring at him with her eyes. You can call me Chen Shi, and you have a companion named Tasmi, right? The girl was surprised and asked, how do you know Tasmi? I passed by your village by chance before, and I heard from your village chief that you, Yeyes, and Tasmi went to the imperial capital together to make a living. As soon as I arrived in the imperial capital today, I heard that the noble lady Arya had taken 2 strangers home, so I guessed it was you. After my inquiring, I found out that one of the foreign girls was wearing a snow-capped mountain flower hair ornament. Snow-capped mountain flower is a unique flower in the north. How can there be such a coincidence? I guessed it was you, although I don't know why there were only 2 of you. Quote. Sheo replied softly. We were attacked by burglars on the way to the imperial capital and were separated from Tasmi. But Tasmi should be fine. He is the strongest among the 3 of us. It was indeed okay, but he was going to be deceived soon, Lin Chen complained silently. Then I also found out that Miss Arya often brings strangers home, so I knew you were in danger. Quote. Quote. Why? Lin Chen sneered, because this country has long been decayed, and most of the nobles have already treated the people as livestock and kindly took in foreigners. This kind of thing must be fake. You are forced to come to the imperial capital because of the heavy taxes imposed by the empire. In fact, God is even darker. Most of the nobles living here are more beasts. It is basically impossible to get ahead. Xiaoyu was in a low mood. I didn't expect to be deceived as soon as I came to the imperial capital. When I left the village, I was determined to save the village. Now it seems like a joke. If it weren't for you Chen Shi, I would probably be in that dark room. You'll be tortured to death. I don't know what the village is like. I met a group of frost wolves when I was in your village. They were quite cute. I even brought back a souvenir. Seu was shocked and said angrily, Frost wolves. These beasts are here again. The village can't stop it without our protection. Wait, cute, souvenir. Sheo went from anxious to confused. What does the cruel and dangerous frost wolves have to do with cuteness? Frost wolves are so fearful in the north that even parents scare their children by saying, if you don't obey me, the frost wolves will take you away. Lin Chen smiled slightly. Don't you think frost wolves' coat color and appearance are very good? It seems right, but the village. Lin Chen interrupted. Don't worry, your village is safe. I have killed all the frost wolves and left all the corpses in your village for souvenirs. With a wave of his hand, he took out the sharp wolf fang green. Not only did I save you and your friends, I also saved your village. This goodwill cannot be maxed out. As a player, it is necessary to be able to increase your favorability. Xiaoyu took the wolf fang with her hand, and her palms became cold. Even after taking it off for a long time, it still exuded a cold breath. As a professional hunter, Xiaoyu was 100% sure that these were the teeth of the frost wolf. Holding the wolf fangs tightly, the girl who did not give in even under such horrific torture shed tears, perhaps thinking of her poor but warm hometown or the confusion of her own situation. Lin Chen looked at Xiaoyu who was crying silently. This girl from a northern village was really strong. Thank you, this is your souvenir. Lin Chen put away his wolf teeth and said, go to sleep. It's safe here for the time being. Take good care of yourself first. I will find a way to take you out. Lin Chen quickly fell asleep. He was extremely tired today. First, I walked for more than an hour in the cold wind to find a way. I finally found a village and sat down to drink a few sips of tea. I took on a bullshit side quest and left before my stool was warm. Lin Chen seriously doubted that paradise meant that he couldn't even kill wolves, so he didn't want to go anywhere. After riding a bicycle for 12 hours, my legs were almost useless. I even ate while pedaling. After entering the imperial capital, I had to inquire about information, and finally there was an extremely exciting infiltration. Xiaoyu looked at the sleeping Lin Chen and fell asleep peacefully. Boom! Miss Arya, who was usually quiet and elegant, slammed the cup into the face of the guard who was kneeling on the ground. The broken porcelain pieces and the scalding tea were all unable to make the smashed guard make a sound. Waste, waste, they are all waste. Our family has raised a bunch of trash like you. What did you tell me? It's impossible for anyone to sneak in without alerting you. The results of it, 2 domestic animals from the countryside were rescued under the eyes of hundreds of you. This is what you call tight security. This is what you call not even a mosquito can fly in. The more Arya thought about it, the angrier she became. She took out the red-hot iron pliers from the nearby fireplace and stuffed them into the poor guard's mouth. The guard did not dare to resist at all, and held the iron pliers firmly in his mouth without letting go. As a guard of the Arya family, he knew the character of this family very well. If he resisted even a little bit, not only would he die, but his whole family would also die. The child will be tortured to death like a foreigner. Arya's father said. Okay, Arya, stop it, drag him down and chop him down. Arya angrily withdrew the iron tongs, and the wounded guard immediately kowtowed and fainted. He was not the guard who kept vigil last night at all, but what difference did it make to Arya's family? All the guards in the family have been family servants for generations, and the lives of their entire family are in the hands of their master. Arya said, "Have you found out where you came in last night?" The leader of the guards replied fearfully, No, but we found this near the outer wall on the east side of the manor." The leader handed over the snow-capped flower hair ornament specially thrown by Lin Chen. Arya yelled, "It's that little fool Seu. I can recognize this hair accessory even if it turns to ashes. How I treat you is my freedom. Forget it if you don't be grateful. Domestic animals dare to escape. How shameless." What she hates most about Sha Yu is that Sha Yu's long, smooth and shiny hair is so beautiful when paired with a snow mountain flower, which makes her with curly hair go crazy with jealousy. Arya's father. Then get rid of all the guards who were on duty near the east outer wall last night. By the way, I'll be kind and take the whole family with me, so as not to cause any trouble if the family is separated. What should be sent to the Flower Street should be sent to the Flower Street. There is a shortage of people everywhere in laboratories and training camps. On the surface, they were angry that Seu and Ease escaped. In fact, they didn't care whether the two countrymen died or not. What really frightened them was that someone had sneaked into the cell so deep. If their family happens to be torturing someone, once they are caught, it is basically a dead end. Even if the guards killed the assassins after their deaths, it would be of no avail. The escape left them with chills in their hearts. Arya's father said, "Replenish the guards as soon as possible. I don't want this kind of thing to happen again." Yes. Arya rolled her eyes and called the leader of the guards. "Wait a minute, if you go and issue a wanted notice now, just say that the two of them are accomplices of the night attack, especially Seu. I want to see what these two white-eyed wolves are like. How long do you want to hide it? There is no place for her to hide in the entire empire. Find more painters and make the paintings more similar. It's a pity that I don't know which village in the countryside she comes from. You'd better pray that I don't discover her." The leader of the guards felt chills in his heart. This was a sick and crazy noble. The entire imperial capital was like this, like a rotten stinky ditch. But what qualifications did he have to survive the mud and remain untainted? As the leader of the guards, too much darkness has passed through his hands. Whether it was thousands or tens of thousands, he has lost count. He has been completely corrupted and has no way to turn back. Lin Chen woke up from his sleep and vaguely felt someone's eyes looking at him. When he opened his eyes, he saw Sha Yu's closed eyes and red face. Slightly embarrassing. "Good morning, Seu. Good morning, Dawn." Woo, woo, woo. Ioto Zongzi made a frantic noise to attract the attention of the two of them. Last night, in order to prevent Ease from suddenly waking up or moving around during the transportation, Lin Chen tied up his whole body and gagged his mouth. Apart from removing it to give him medicine, he basically slept with it gagged. Quiet, we are still in the manor. If we are discovered, we will be dead. Ia suddenly didn't dare to say anything, and Lin Chen stepped forward to loosen his bonds. Ease dropped the gag and asked Seu in a low voice, "You have seen me a long time ago. Why don't you untie me?" "HMPH, so what if I saw it? And what's going on now? Who is this handsome guy? It's so noisy." Lin Chen looked at the energetic Ease, who was indeed a hot-blooded fool, as the old village chief said. It was as if he was not the one who was beaten into coma 3 times yesterday. "Okay, my name is Chen Shi. I'll ask Sha Yu to explain the specific situation to you. Shao, I'm going to go out for a while, so you can take good care of your injuries." Sha Yu's pretty face turned red and she whispered, "Well, Master Chen Shi, can you give me some clothes?" Lin Chen then remembered that Sha Yu was not wearing anything. She was too sleepy yesterday and forgot about it. "I only have some spare clothes that I haven't worn yet. If you don't mind, wear them." Lin Chen took out the spare clothes from the storage space. He was not so perverted as to stuff women's clothes into the storage space. The two of them looked at Lin Chen taking things out of thin air with surprised expressions. "Haha, it's just a storage space. You won't know what incredible things are until you meet Taigu in the future." It seems that these quilts came from this way, Xiao thought thoughtfully. Too many things happened yesterday, and she was not in a good condition. She did not pay attention to these details. No wonder Xiao, you didn't help me untie you even when you saw me. You just hugged your quilt tightly and refused to let go. I forgive you. It's so noisy. You'd better stop talking and turn around. Do you still want to see me change my clothes? I know, when I recover from my injuries, I will make Arya look good. How dare you lie to me? Hearing this, Lin Chen sighed slightly. Ease, HP, 21%. Energy, 290/290ths. Strength, 31. Agility, 20. Constitution, 25. Intelligence, 29. Charisma, 8. Skill 1. Swordsmanship proficiency, sword power increased by 30%. Skill 6. Hot-blooded, strength continues to increase with fighting time, and the upper limit is related to physical fitness. Status. A small amount of Ebola virus infection, strength, agility, and constitution reduced by 20 points. As one of the trio, Ease also has up to 6 skills. Unfortunately, he has been injected with a drug. Before he is cured, his strength can only be used to a small extent, which is roughly equivalent to that of an ordinary elite soldier. If Lin Chen hadn't saved him in advance, if it had been delayed until the next day to be injected multiple times, Ease would have died directly due to the virus outbreak. He told the two of them to hide and he would be back in 3 days at most. Xiaoyu responded obediently, well, I know, I will take care of this idiot. Lin Chen easily left the manor with that night cloak. Lin Chen was walking on the streets of the imperial capital. Today was the day when the male protagonist Tasmi arrived in the imperial capital, and tomorrow night was the day when he would assassinate Arya's family in a night attack. The two men had to be safely removed from the manor with the help of a night attack. With almost 2 days of free time before this, Lin Chen did not intend to stay in the warehouse to guard the two wounded Xiao and Ease. As long as that warehouse doesn't wander around, there's no way it won't survive the next night. The three of them stared at each other stupidly. At most, they could have a landlord fight. As a player, Lin Chen must seize the opportunity to gain profits. The greatest wealth in the world of cutting red eyes is the taigu, and Lin Chen already had preliminary ideas. Walking through the bustling crowd, Lin Chen passed by the place where the wanted notice was posted and found that Seiyu and Ease were already wanted. They were charged with attacking their accomplices at night. Anyone who dared to harbor them would be treated as accomplices. Lin Chen shook his head and smiled. The speed is really fast. It seems that Miss Arya is very angry. But Miss Arya is right to say that she is an accomplice in the night attack. After her family is killed tomorrow night, they will naturally join the night attack. As for hiding, is there a possibility that the two of them are hiding in your house? Quote. Ignoring these irrelevant wanted notices, Lin Chen began to appreciate the local customs while walking towards his destination. Strolling on the streets of the 1,000-year-old imperial capital is something Lin Chen has never experienced before. This may be a unique experience for players. Wander in different worlds, experience numerous events, and experience all kinds of strange cultures. Defeated the exclusive leveling monster goblin for the protagonist in fantasy. Having ridden a steam-armored train is incomparable to a train traveling in the starry sky, but it is still a rare experience. Countless experiences create strength. Lin Chen is not a player who pursues power at all costs. Sure enough, I still prefer the present to the unchanging previous life on Earth. Let me speed up the collapse of this 1,000-year empire. It's better to throw this rotten thing into the trash can as soon as possible. I have to say, the ice cream here is really delicious. I used to crave it when I was watching anime. Lin Chen licked the ice cream and came to the nearest tavern in the imperial capital military camp. As the strongest general in the empire, Esdeath and Minister Ernest firmly control the empire with both civil and military skills. Although she is currently crusading against foreigners in the far north fortress, her power in the imperial capital also needs to be taken care of. Her confidants, the 3 beast warriors, did not follow her away, but stayed in the imperial capital. This is Lin Chen's goal. Compared with the hunters, who have not yet been formed and the whereabouts of other taigu users are unknown, the whereabouts of the 3 beast warriors are best determined. Leva, one of the 3 beast warriors. A former Imperial general with both wisdom and courage, he is the former boss of Brand, a member of Night Raid who possesses the Taigu haunted by demons. He was framed and arrested because he refused to pay bribes. He was later rescued by Esdeath and has been loyal to her ever since. Extremely high. He was given the Imperial weapon, Water Dragon Possession Black Marin, by Esdeath, and has the ability to control liquids. Niu, one of the 3 beast warriors. A petite transvestite boy, born into a noble family, with a cold and ruthless personality, she likes to dissect small animals and has a hobby of collecting female faces. In the anime, the former minister's daughter was skinned alive, causing the former minister's daughter to die alive. Possessing the Taigu military dream scream, he can control people's emotions in a wide range. Data's, one of the 3 beast warriors. A fighting maniac, he likes to fight with strong men to increase his experience value. He met Esdeath by chance during the journey of warrior training. After the battle, he was defeated and swore allegiance to him. The Imperial weapon is 2 great axes, Belvic, which can throw an axe that can be tracked as long as it has strength. Boss, let me show you something special about your place. Lin Chen carelessly found a seat in the center of the tavern and sat down. As the tavern closest to the military camp, a large number of soldiers gathered here, which was perfect for Lin Chen who wanted to know information. The drinkers coming and going didn't pay attention to Lin Chen, who seemed to be drinking alone, but was actually eavesdropping with his ears raised. 5 or 6 soldiers who were drinking and bragging caught Lin Chen's attention. Alas, it's another day when General Esdeath is away. I miss her. Is that what you want? You are just greedy for her body. Go, make it look like you're not. Why, after a few sips, you start pretending to be a gentleman. Oh, let alone a kiss, it would be nice to just look at her a few more times. Now that I can't see Lord Esdeath, I've even lost motivation to train. It's not that Mr. Leva is not good, it's just that he is really incomparable to a bad old man. Go and talk to Mr. Lewa face to face. Mr. Lewa hasn't left yet. He works very hard every day and doesn't get off work until 10 o'clock. No need. Oh, it would be great if I had the strength of Lord 3 Beast Warriors, so that I can follow Lord Esdeath every day. I think so too. People like Datas have Taigu. I really don't understand. That is, he doesn't treat us as human beings at all. He basically looks down on us in the entire military camp. He talks about weaklings and is a waste with no experience at all. It's really annoying. I heard that he came to the military camp again yesterday to compete with Master Lewa. I saw it at the scene. It was just like being hung up and beaten. I will be honest, for a week. In other words, Mr. Leva has a good temper. If I face a guy like this who always comes to beat me, I will definitely beat him. Lie on the bed for a while. Master Niu is much better than him, but unfortunately he rarely comes to the military camp. What a pity. Shouldn't you treat Master Niu? Let me go, there is a pervert here. There's a male Tong here. Go away, you are the one and your whole family is. Sure enough, as I expected, it couldn't be better. If Lin Chen were asked to choose one among the 3 Beast Warriors, Lin Chen would definitely choose Lewa. First of all, Datas, as one of the 3 Beast Warriors, his strength made Lin Chen speechless. In the plot, the 3 Beast Warriors surrounded Brand collectively, but Datas didn't even catch Brand's move. Just hung up. You can be forgiven for saying that Niu's combat power is weak. After all, the purpose of military Dream Scream is not for direct combat. 2 large axes Belvac as a direct combat type Taigu. Lin Chen is so new that it doesn't matter whether he is killed or not. Killing him now will arouse the vigilance of the remaining 2 people. It is not cost effective at all. It is really not feasible to call Brand, it just needs to find another move on him. Secondly, Niu has no fixed whereabouts and cannot be found at all, pass. Lewa, his Imperial equipment Water Dragon Pony Black Malin is extremely powerful where there is water. On the dragon boat, relying on the endless water source on the river, he directly fought with Brand and died together. Brand's strength is 1 notch lower than Esdeath, the strongest in the Empire. If Lewa can be killed before tomorrow night, Lin Chen will not only get the Imperial weapon, but also use his head to gain greater say after joining the night attack. After all, Lin Chen didn't have a Taigu. Joining the night raid with the help of Tasmi, a newcomer, was completely different from being able to kill the famous 3 beast warriors. Moreover, Liwa's weakness is very obvious. There must be enough water or other liquids, otherwise his strength will be greatly reduced. According to the soldiers, Niu basically didn't come to the military camp, but Data's just came yesterday and would not come again in a short time. Now Liwa was alone in the military camp. Lin Chen worked hard to collect relevant information about Liwa and make full preparations for tonight's assassination. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.